You are now listening to Nerd Rage Radio with Bobby Skullface and Adam Russman. This podcast is intended for mature audiences only and may not fit with your sensitive sensibilities. You may be a victim of meaningless outrage, or you may, in fact, be a big ninny pants. If this is the case, please feel free to turn it off now. This is no country for ninny McNinny pants. So crack open the Mountain Dew. Make sure the cheese doodles are super fresh. We're in your mother's basement. It's Nerd Rage Radio.
And welcome to episode 148 of Nerd Rage Radio with your host, Adam the Russ.
And this Sunday, one day only, Monster Truck Volcanus will be here.
Sunday!
You've seen other monster trucks before, but not like Volcanus. Volcanus.
Let me tell you something, brother. Dude, shout out to fucking Macho Man Randy Savage. May he rest in peace.
Brother.
Yeah, tell you something, brother. Anyway, we're here. It is, actually, I just, got out of work a little early today, man.
Yeah, that's a nice little bonus,
It's fucking a bonus like anything is a bonus.
I would agree.
I don't even know what that statement means.
But it's nice. It's always nice when somebody's like, you know what, just go home.
Yeah. And it's funny, man. I'm tired as fuck today, man. I'm old, tired, and trash.
And I'm old, soft, and trash.
And my boss is like, hey, man, go ahead and go home. I'm like, really? I've been running around like a fucking madman today.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't, we do these like 8.5-hour shifts, and you're supposed to have like a half an hour lunch break that I never fucking take. I'm always sitting there like literally I get off of work at 1 o'clock and like it's like 12:45 and I'm sitting down to eat lunch. Like, what are you doing, man? It's time to go home. Ain't time to eat. Like, dude, I had time to eat all day. I'm fucking starving. So I guess he was just giving me a little extra something. You know what I mean?
Word.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's right. So, how was your past weekend? Was it something historic? Jurassic, maybe?
Prehistoric. I did see Jurassic World Fallen Basement. It's pretty good.
Dude, I'm glad that you guys didn't ask me to go. That like after the fact, you said something like weeks ago,
right? But
I almost wish that you asked me, like, called me, like, "Hey man, you want to go?" Like on speakerphone, and be like, "Fuck no,"
because you had told us a long time ago.
Dude, I have an appointment to run nails through my penis head. I can't pass that up to go see this movie.
So it's we have a spoiler. There's another spoiler-free action for this, and to be honest with you, when you go to watch it for yourself, you'll realize there's really not much to spoil. You'll figure it all out in the first 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
It will be tacked on to the end of this episode.
Stay tuned.
It's me and the Phillips.
Phil squared.
And Black Phillip actually makes a really great analogy that I'm not going to spoil.
And you guys actually gave him a microphone, much to my chagrin.
I've had a pretty eventful week, though. All in all, I have. I saw
got that spot on your testicles figured out.
No, I had that figured out some time ago. That was scary. I think I was doing podcasts at the time because I think I was like talking about it.
I think you were too.
Yeah. I'll never forget though. The climax of all that was I ended up on a table with my dick on my stomach and a washcloth over top of it. It was some old lady rubbing gel
on your testicles,
sonogram shit on my nuts.
Did she warm it up?
Yeah, the gel was warm.
Good.
While I'm looking at these walls with
warm gel is actually a new invention. Just put that out there. It used to be cold as fuck.
These bullshit fish on the wall as like paint, paintings, like art, and I was just like, what has your life turned into? I even thought to myself, what if I could go back in time and talk to like my 5th grade self and be like, dude, this one day you're gonna be laying on a table with your dick under a washcloth on top of your stomach while some old lady is rubbing gel on your nuts, and you're just going to be looking at a painting of a fish, totally disgusted with the entire scenario.
The visuals on that, kind of disturbing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely took a mental picture of it because it was just so damn
Do you ever have nightmares
bizarre.
like you're back in that spot? You ever have dreams that you relive an event of your life?
No.
It's just me. Maybe it's just me.
My dreams are always so off the beaten path.
I had a crazy sex dream the other night.
Did you?
Want to hear about it?
Yes, but let me just go through this real quick. I got a feeling it wasn't that crazy, but
it was the craziest sex dream I've ever had.
I can believe that. Solo. I read the Solo guide, like the official guide.
Yeah.
It did fix one thing for me.
What's that?
So the people that are working in the recruitment center,
Yeah.
the people that are handling the immigration, for lack of a better term, like people leaving the planet on and off planet, are not Imperials.
Okay.
They are private citizens that are subcontracted by the Empire to handle it.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's actually this company, Corsac. So they're kind of like when they take bribes and shit, it just makes me feel better about that.
Oh, okay. I'm tracking. Not the name bit.
What, Corsac? It's like Corellius Security.
No. Like I thought he'd be like, and so like his name being named Solo.
No,
I'm totally fine.
No. There's nothing will ever say that for me. I watched the first episode of Luke Cage, but I fell asleep during it.
I liked it.
Yeah, it seemed fine.
It's fine.
Had a nice dinner on Saturday with Marilyn, Phil, and the Pinkertons came through. Well, just Chris and the boys, the male half of the Pinkerton family.
Gotcha.
Had a nice dinner. We had chicken milanesa and shrimp pasta, and it was good. It was good.
Cool.
Laughs and all that kind of stuff.
I'm sad that I missed it.
Yeah. I was too.
I was in bed.
And then no, you weren't
having crazy dreams. No, yeah, like you called me. It was like 6:30 when you called me.
Somewhere around 6.
Yeah,
it was wrapped up. I think by between 8 and 9.
Oh, really? Like Pam came home and we were talking about it. Like, let me go upstairs real quick. And like I walked upstairs, laid in the bed, and I was done. So,
I watched Rogue One with someone who hadn't seen it yet.
Okay.
And I should have. We watched it in a dark room, but I should have videotaped their like reactions.
Oh,
like,
with Vader bit.
Yeah, like it was like, holy shit, it was fucking cool. And I think I saw Fallen Basement. That'll be at the end. Also, it was Fallen Boat, and then it became Fallen Basement. But
I guess I'll understand the meaning if I ever want to see that movie. I'll probably never see that movie.
It's worth watching.
Is it worth watching?
Yeah, it's worth a watch. It's trash, but it's worth a watch.
You know what? There's so many great movies that I know are great that I've never seen, that I just never find time to see. Like, for example, Black Mass. I want to see Black Mass.
That's about a demonic tumor.
Oh man, dude, I'm like, just continue. You might have to like hold this whole show on your shoulders.
I had
this whole one.
I in my Luke Skywalker video ended up on the front page of Making Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
Nice. How the hits then?
I don't know. I'm going to check it tomorrow. I think I just noticed it today.
Right now.
I doubt it's done. I think it may have gone up today.
Yeah. Let's see what's going on.
Let me see.
I mean, the hits are going to happen within the first 2 to 4 hours of that post because they put a lot of content out, right?
I wouldn't say.
Dude, what if what's his face invites you to do something? What's his name?
Insignificant.
Internet guy the movie guy that Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson.
What if he's like, dude, you're the only one who gets it?
He actually kind of low-key pissed me off recently.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's petty. It's me being petty. It's me being very petty.
Petty as fuck.
But I tweeted him in that video. I added him. I added him and I added Mark Hamill. Like, fuck it.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nothing. Which I didn't expect.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably thousands of
exactly.
tweets, man.
But like the whole thing we're going to talk about later because it's kind of turned into a pretty funny thing. But those people that are putting up that money for the remake of Last Jedi.
Oh, is that a real thing?
Kind of. Dude, it's kind of turned into a massive joke. But it's pretty funny. It's definitely entertaining.
It's probably going to be a con job.
It's definitely entertaining.
Oh, yeah, that's that one. Yeah, you're right.
The other thing is that but anyway, like when that shit like kind of started making noise and like
ending up. What the fuck is that? A lightsaber?
Yeah, it's like the tip, so to speak, for Mace Windu's, I think.
That looks like is that a Mace Windu?
No, it's Obi-Wan's or Luke's.
It's Obi-Wan or Luke.
Anyway,
I recognize that tip anywhere.
So he retweeted that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like said, pretty please, 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 and had like a whole bunch of praying hands.
I wonder how he feels if he feels accomplished by that movie. Like I wonder, like, Does he have a bad taste in his mouth about it?
I would be very interested to hear what he says now, like a year later. You know, like, because one of the things that I've respected about his position was that he's like, you know, win, lose, or draw, this is on me. Like, nobody told me no. You know? So I don't know. I would like to see him revisit it. You know, maybe he'll be a celebration.
Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
So anyway, my crazy sex dream. Wait till you have some coffee.
Yeah.
So my hours have changed. Haven't had much quality time with the wife here recently. So I had this dream, man. You know, every once in a while, every great blue moon, you get one of those raging erections, and like there's a noticeable difference. You're like, "Oh, hey there, young man. Where have you been?"
I gotta tell you, it's more often than not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
I kind of get mad when I get the trash ones.
So anyway, in the dream, it was like
look alive.
It was one of those like, man, damn, did I get an extra inch on that unit, man? What's going on with that thing, right? You know what I mean? In the dream, so I'm trying to get in it with the wife, right? And all of a sudden, I shart in the dream. I'm like, oh, but I'm like, it's just a little shart,
smearing it over her face.
Just a little shart. No, but like in the dream, I still have like the boxers on, just kind of pull them down. A little sharts going on there, but it's still like packed up in there. You know what I mean? It's a so in my head, in the dream, I'm like, do I keep doing this or do I tell her and ruin the mood? I don't want to waste this hard on.
And then she reaches behind for a little, how you doing? You're like, no.
Not today.
It's not a good time.
And that was the most exciting thing all weekend.
I was jogging earlier.
I was jogging earlier. That's the funny bit. No, but yesterday was my daughter's birthday, and
happy birthday!
Yeah. And my sister had a little boy on Friday.
I saw that.
Yeah, I don't think my mom knows about it yet. That was fucked up.
Can I say congratulations?
Yeah, I know. So I went out running Sunday with the dog, which is kind of it's maintenance to keep his little puppy ass down. But then I went out with the kids and we walked around downtown and we bought this big ass like 30-inch frisbee. I mean, it's like a metal ring with like cloth on it, so it's really light. But you can throw that thing, it fucking sails forever. It gets an updraft, it'll go like 100 feet, and then when it hits the ground, it's kind of springy, so it bounces. It'll bounce 5 or 6 feet. So we're out there in the middle of Baker Park throwing this big ass frisbee. And I think it's B-more. It's like BMO, or no, it's BEAMOR. So my daughter's like, B-more. I'm like, no, sweetheart, no. But anyway, so dude, just running after that frisbee and throwing that frisbee and running back and forth, dude. I'm fucking trash.
Yeah,
dude. So oh god, I got it this morning. It's like, oh, please let me die. But we watched Thor Ragnarok on Thursday, which basically ruined my weekend. So I was supposed to go to bed early, getting up early for Friday. Stayed up till like 11 o'clock watching that fucking movie. And then like didn't sleep at all, like 3 hours. Went to work, came back home and didn't go to bed till like 11 o'clock that night. And then fucking woke up like at 5 o'clock in the morning. So like it just fucked up my whole weekend. I've been fucking exhausted. But huge plot hole in Thor Ragnarok.
What is it?
Odin's spear also opens up the Bifrost. He does it in the first movie. It's not just the sword, as some people would say.
Yeah, some people.
So the whole fucking premise of Hela being stuck on Asgard, is all bullshit. Like that is a huge fucking plot hole. Huge plot hole.
Oh, I just thought about a plot hole. Of New Hope.
What's that?
It's like the same thing as Last Jedi. Like where they're like waiting for the moon to clear.
Oh yeah. Why did they just go? Yeah. It's been there forever. You know what I mean? It's like the whole thing has like fucking sublights. Now you can make the argument they came out at light speed and they can't jump back on again. You know what I mean, so to speak.
And then you can make the argument for all of it though.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, you can't make the argument that for Last Jedi. I'm sorry, man.
For the supremacy, you can.
Oh yeah, maybe for the supremacy. but there's 6 other ships.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't know. I mean, that is the loophole there, is that we don't know the specifics of hyperspace plotting.
Yeah, maybe. No, I mean,
but I was just watching it like I was watching Rogue One.
That's been a or just blowing up the planet that's in the way.
Right. But then the question to that is, how long does it take to recharge? Would it have put them?
Yeah.
But when I was watching Rogue One, I was like, oh shit, why didn't they?
So anyway, going back to Thor. So this I haven't watched it in a while, and it was on Netflix, so we checked it out. The girls loved it. It's funny, but you know what, man? You know the biggest winner out of that movie is Thor and Loki's relationship. It is the biggest winner. Like Thor does have an effective arc. He is changed from the first movie. You know what I mean?
I would say it's all. I would say I don't
and
disagree.
So does Loki.
But I would say it's all the Asgardians' relationship. It's Thor and Loki's relationship. It's Thor and Odin's relationship. It's Odin and Hela's relationship. Like all of that really works for me.
Yeah, Hela actually is kind of trash, man. She's very one-dimensional in that. And I wish
because they don't spend any time.
Exactly. Like I don't think it's Kate Blanchett necessarily.
No, and the potential is all over the place.
But it does make me wonder how that impacts the real world. How after Asgard is destroyed, that's the time for Thanos to attack. Because I don't think Thanos could have dealt with a properly functional Asgardian war machine. You know what I mean? I mean, you think how, like, I realize, like, Odin, Thor, and Hela all have powers, and maybe that's, there's been some theory, like, where do they get their powers from? Like, does Thor get his powers from the Asgardian people? Does Hela get it from Asgard itself? Or yada, yada bullshit, right? But obviously, even in after Thor gets his hammer and everything and goes fucking ham, he is a force to reckon with, even against Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. I think we can agree that was clearly achieved, right?
I would agree.
So if Odin, at his most powerful, who could actually strip Thor of his power, you have Hela, Loki, and Thor. I mean, one could argue that Thanos would get his ass whipped.
And the big hell dog monster.
The big hell dog monster. Yeah.
And the big dog monster.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah.
The big hell dog monster with the hell dog on the chain.
Yeah, man. That'd been dope. So, Fenris. So it is interesting to think of the pre-evil Odin, or the conqueror Odin, and like how he shaped the early galaxy, because it establishes like Thor. I guess Thor's like 5,000 years old or so. Or maybe 3,000 years old. It doesn't matter.
Nope.
Asgardians live like 5,000 years or so. And also I wonder, like, is Odin really dead? I mean, yes, he's passed on, he became energy, but he's still communicating with his kids after the fact.
Yeah.
So I
got
so
much him as much his contract. Huh?
You always do this when I'm fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm barely holding it together here today. I'm barely holding it together. But I would wonder if however they end episode 4, or the fourth movie for the Avengers, if we do get a reset of Asgard, or reset everything, because we already know there's some time travel involved.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I'm sure they'll reset some shit.
Yeah, but I do hope, like, the biggest bummer of that for me is not like, oh, they got to bring Spider-Man back, and they got to bring Black Panther back, which obviously they have to do.
Right.
I think that's
checking out different spots right here.
Yeah,
it's fine. Don't worry about me. Just keep doing what you're doing.
I
feel like this might be good right here.
It's very distracting. Oh, you used your tongue. Oh, why was that so effortless for you? Is that, like, I like where we leave Thor and Loki.
Sorry.
You know what
I feel like this is better. Is this better? This is better.
It's like that scene in right then and there's like that scene in Men in Black, which you've never seen, when Will Smith drags the table across the to do the test.
I can see it in my head.
But I really like the place where Loki is at. I really like the place where Thor's at. Like their arcs. Like I'm fucking invested in those characters, and I don't want them to reset. So we have older versions of those characters that I already saw where they could go. And if you change the world too much, then Loki's never going to get back to that spot, and that's kind of a bummer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen the end of that. Like, we'll see a little bit more of them in this next one, but
I definitely think the Tom Hiddleston or whatever. I definitely think he'd be down to do more Loki.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they're going in that direction. I
don't think they're going in that direction either. I agree with you, but I'm saying like if they change it up and Loki's still in the world, even if they don't do any more Loki, I still think the actor would be down to do more Loki. I mean, he's not getting his doors knocked out for other shit.
Maybe he does a lot of stuff though. I think.
He does. He does. But I don't know. Anywho, it was good. I watched Luke Cage as well. I did not fall asleep to it. It was fine, dude. I really feel with this show, I've got a lot of slow-mo walking to music already in episode 1, at least 3 or 4 different scenes of it. And I'm like, are you guys just trying to, listen, stop trying to make a fucking, Art Nouveau or whatever fucking, noir. Maybe that's like
I don't think it's a noir thing. I
don't know what it is.
I think it's just a stylistic choice.
But it's style for style's sake. It's not.
Yes.
But it's like get it out of here.
I think it's like it might be the most defining thing about him.
His slow walking to music.
Slow walking to 90s hip hop.
No, it's not even 90s hip hop. Like that beginning was not hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the last scene. It wasn't even 90s.
I don't know what it was.
It might not have been. Anyway,
and I mean, like all the first season was named after Gangstar Records. And it's like a thing that they're doing with it.
I'm fine with the music. Don't get me wrong, but it does seem like, hey, we're doing that thing again. We're doing music. There's like one scene where they're in the club and there's like that lady singing, and they just spend 50% more time with her than they should have.
I gotta watch that first episode again because I was tired and I fell asleep.
Tired and trash.
Bowl soft and trash.
Yeah. So wasn't bad though. They did do something that I'm very. How far do you remember getting in? Did you get to the explosion?
I don't know.
The big you wouldn't admit, like the big fucking tractor trailer explosion?
No, I don't think I got there.
Oh Jesus, man, that's like 15 minutes in.
Yeah, it didn't take long. As soon as I laid down, I was like, oh no.
I'm gonna spoil this for you.
Okay.
So like in the comic, in the canon, when Luke goes back to get that second bath, he does get stronger and more impervious, and they did do this on this one. So he got shot by one of those bullets again that hurt him the first season, and it didn't hurt him this time. He's like, "What the fuck?" And they're like, "Maybe the second time,
that's cool.
That is cool." So like shit like that, I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
I do want to see some Iron Fist in this because they are flirting with the whole concept of like, dude, you're broke. You're doing all this work, and we appreciate it. We're broke, and I do hope they do the heroes for hire type thing.
Yeah.
And our girl, Rosario Dawson, did call him Power Man as a joke, and I like that shit. So there's little elements in there. So far, I'm liking what they're doing with him in the world because like everybody knows he's Luke Cage, and how the bad guys are playing off of that is kind of cool as well. And so far, Bushmaster looks interesting to me. Hopefully, they're gonna. That the whole Diamondback shit was just, it took too long to get into him. And I like Cottonmouth.
I like Cottonmouth as well.
Yeah, and they kind of threw that away, and then Diamondback was kind of trash. So
it seemed like they were going the Serpent Society route, but they didn't, and they chose the wrong Diamondback, and it was just a bunch of strange choices.
It had to hurry up and finish it. You know what I mean? But I will say the very first fight scene looked kind of fucking rushed, man. Did you notice that? Like in the first, he goes in there and he's beating up the guys. Like, you gotta know where we're trying, Luke. Yeah.
No, I dug that though. I dug that dialogue.
The dialogue was good. The actual choreographing of the fight scene was kind of weak.
Oh, it didn't bother me.
Yeah,
I was fine with it.
Okay.
I think it was just sort of a let's get started. Like I didn't need any more. I was good.
Okay.
But I like that little we got to try.
Yeah. And you know what the fact is? Like you do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Like it's worse not to.
Can you imagine? Like, he just came, so we just put our guns down and walked out.
We ran.
You're done.
He's Power Man.
Yeah. So I wanted to say there was something else that I did this week, but when did we record the last episode? Was that Wednesday?
Yes.
So I saw Thor. I don't think I did anything else.
Dude, Wednesday was murder for me.
Wednesday
sucked.
Yeah, double podcast.
Double podcast, and I had to do 2 reviews in the morning. Like
had to. You can get fired if you didn't do
But
them.
they were time sensitive.
I'm just fucking with you,
Yeah.
man.
No, I mean, if they
Can't
weren't,
do
I
that.
wouldn't have done them.
Really?
Yeah.
So, and you still need to do some of that Spider-Man. I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah.
Now, does that mask go over his face?
No.
Oh, that'd have been cool.
No, it wouldn't.
Why?
It would look like fucking trash.
If they can make it work, it actually looks
they
good.
won't. It always look like,
Spider-Man's mask is
it
impossible
look
to
like
work.
he's got a unicorn.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, and I went to IKEA with Joe. Actually, Joe and I had a great conversation on the way to IKEA and back.
Really? Did you record it?
No, I
Fucking
should
suck.
have. But we actually, Joe and I rarely talk politics, and we actually started talking politics a bit. And I don't get too involved. I'm more interested in how theoretically I think something should work rather than who is pushing what button.
Okay.
So,
Explain.
for instance, he made this good point where he was like, we are developing technology that's replacing human workers.
Yeah.
Like, at the cash registers.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And and then I was like, I always go into line with people. Like I never do automatic checkout because I'm trying to support jobs.
Yeah.
Like, so, I was like, well, maybe we could train those people to work on the IT side. Like we can invest some money into training them to work on the IT side so they could fix the cash registers if they go down or something.
Yeah.
And we're going on, and then we're talking about money and finances and, where the problem is. And, I was talking about budgets for government spending and how, people dump their budgets at the end of the year on meaningless shit that they don't really fucking need, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, but who's going to be, we're having good discourse back and forth. And I was like, well, who's going to be accountable? Whose job is it going to be to track that? And then I smacked him on the arm. I was like, the fucking cashiers. Because he was like, we're going to have automated cars before you know it. Where you just get in. He's like, that's going to ruin taxis. It's going to ruin limo service. It's going to ruin truck
Uber.
driving. It's going to ruin Uber.
Truck driver is a big one because I want to say, it's some ridiculous number, like 30% of men are some kind of paid driver.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a huge number.
When in lower income communities where I have spent a fair amount of time, it's like a joke. Like, hey man, if all this fails, you can drive a truck.
Yeah.
It's like your go-to. It's like the military if you don't have the military kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like the military is
we're not insulting any truck
not at
drivers.
all, but you can if like this, it's one of the beauties of the military where if your options are very limited,
they'll train you on a craft.
They'll train you on a craft, and you get a ton of opportunities that are opened up for you. But it comes at a service cost.
Yeah.
And
as you can attest to, a CDL ain't very easy to get.
I can definitely attest to that. Only 14% pass on the first take.
Is that right?
But
I thought you were 1 in a million.
But I can also attest to the military being a very difficult thing because once I was wounded in combat and I had to wear this mask to hide my horrific scars.
You know what? We need to make sure that we add caveats and that you were never in the military.
Never.
And this is just a fan theory of people.
Yes.
Unless you're lying.
No, that's true. I have the screenshots for it. And actually, MP Collector hit me up and was like, "Did you serve?"
I served some Pepsi one time as a waiter for 15 minutes, but I brought them a Diet Coke and I was immediately fired.
Actually, true story. I worked for Pizza Hut for 4 hours.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that one.
So Laura and I both applied to Pizza Hut. We both got hired. We both attended the training. It was like a 4-hour training. You had to go to this place. They trained you for 4 hours, and then I never showed up for anything else. And Laura worked there for a year or whatever.
I remember that.
Because I used to go to there and leave CDs or anything that a movie that she wanted to watch or something. I would need movie tickets for a tip or whatever. But and I never got my $20 either. It was $5 an hour.
I never paid you.
No, I
Still
never.
owe you that.
I think I had to go to pick it up, and I was like, ugh, it's not even worth it. I don't even have to face those people.
Dude, you should show up now.
Yeah, hey man, you got that 20?
With the interest since 1997.
Stop fucking smiling and make with that $20.
Oh fuck! I lost my train of thought, man. What were we talking about before?
Oh, the service industry,
Yeah. Yeah, there's a big concept with this universal basic income that people are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
There's don't get me wrong. there's ideas that are interesting and we have dialogue about, but I do think that there's a value to working, and there's a value, like people, if people don't work and they don't feel like they're valued, that's when the depression and shit like kicks in and
I
whatnot.
agree.
I mean,
Idle
there's
hands.
huge stats and numbers behind, like, especially men who retire and within like 6 months to like 18 months they're fucking dead.
Mm-hmm.
They got nothing to do, and it's not like they have spontaneous health reasons. They stop taking care of themselves, laying around all day, and then get depressed, and then before you know it,
There was some movie I watched one time where it was like an old couple, and somebody was visiting the old couple.
About Schmidt.
And like
not the movie.
The man was like busy toiling away, and so, like they said to like the wife, they were like a 70-some-year-old couple. They're like what is he doing? Why don't he just sit back and enjoy retirement or whatever? And she said, "A man without purpose is a depressed man."
Yeah, I agree. So it is going to be an interesting problem when like the automated vehicles, because I think our kids are never going to drive.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's right around the corner. Because think about it, man. Like,
I mean, 6 years.
Traffic accidents kill, I think, more people. You know what? I'm interested in the stats on that.
I'm sure it's a ton. No, don't slow it down.
You hate facts, bro.
I don't.
Just tell me you hate facts.
I don't hate facts.
Just it's fine.
I hate wasting time finding facts that we both agree on.
I just think I'm just curious what the numbers are. But anyway, I mean, let's say it's 1 million people a year, which I'm sure it's more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Like how many lives would be saved? That's a lot of motherfuckers too, though. We might not need all those motherfuckers. Maybe this whole.
It's funny when I was on 495 going to IKEA.
Yeah.
Joe, it was traffic deadlock.
Yeah,
it was like 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And Joe was like, "Imagine if half these people weren't on the road." And
Yeah.
I looked at him and he went,
Well, Joseph, imagine if they were all in cars that were talking to each other and coordinating the best traffic patterns.
Well, it was a different conversation.
You can drive at 100 miles per hour safely.
He was just trying to big up Thanos.
You fucking euthanasia is not a
Euthan what?
What?
We're talking about Joe as a child.
Anyway, but yeah, it's going to be interesting in the future. I mean, do you think that we're going to see a lot? Like, what would your guess be? Would people do more hobbies, more artistic endeavors, write more, do whatever?
I don't know. I think we need to come up with a solution before we start eliminating entire fields of work.
Yeah. But then again, the market, we've had this issue before. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the market has always solved itself.
Yeah.
Like, we can't have machines that smelt steel. What about the steel smelters?
Well, has that really resolved itself? I mean, there's a lot of people in the steel industry.
I mean, steel smelting and everything. Most steel is manufactured differently. Like the black
Smiths,
blacksmiths making horseshoes.
We
can't have computers that type writer repairmen.
You got to go down to the Williamsburg.
Yeah, dude, that shit was tight, man. That was awesome.
I hate that shit.
Man, you need to get some culture, man.
I don't mind the culture. I hate the reenactors. Like,
why?
I don't know. It's so fucking goofy. I can't take it serious. I'm like, God damn it, knock it off.
You're just being a jackwagon.
I'm gonna pull your knickers down.
Dude, what? Because you and Pam were being fucking assholes the whole time. The whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was that one.
Top of the morning to you.
The most famous one was when one guy came and said, "Excuse me, have you happened to notice anything queer this morning?" And I was like, "Well, now that you mention it, I saw 2 grown men tongue kissing in the alley."
My wife did that several times as well.
Yeah, I can't get into that.
What is that? It's fun, man. It's fun.
It's not. I can't. I just can't with it. I'm just like.
But the Renaissance Fair, you're fine with.
Yeah, I'm
Why
okay.
is that?
I'm okay if they just dressed up and walked around. They were like, "Hey, do you know what this building is about? Let me tell you about it." But when they walk up, they're like, "Good morning, young lad. What strange shoes you wear? Nike." Is that who's your cobbler? Is his name Nike? Like, that's the shit I can't get with.
That happened too.
Yeah, like that type of stuff. But like, if he just came up and was like, "Hey, man, you know what this building is? It was a courthouse. It was." I'm like, "Cool." Like,
yeah.
But just don't give me the fucking dog and pony show. All right, just fucking give me a little little brief summary, and let me move on with my day.
Top of the morning to you.
No, just a little good morning. It's fine. Not top of the morning, bottom of the ninth.
I actually really want to go back to Williamsburg. I had a good time when we were there. Near Busch Gardens.
Yeah, no, I remember. It's fine.
Yeah. You're trying to. I don't know if I like that bit.
I like Busch Gardens.
Yeah. It might be my favorite local park. That's like within a day drive.
Right.
I mean, local is.
Yeah. I like them all. I like them all. Only one I haven't been to in forever is what is now
Six Flags.
Yeah, I went when I went there when it was Wild World.
Yeah, well, it was something else.
Adventure World, maybe.
Adventure World. It was Wild World. Then it was Adventure World. Then it was Paramount. It wasn't. No,
that's King's Dominion.
King's Dominion was Paramount. King's Dominion for a while. Is it still Paramount?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't
is
think
Paramount
so.
a thing?
Paramount's definitely a thing.
Is it?
Yeah, Turtles and that's a Paramount property.
Okay.
Transformers is a Paramount.
Is it?
property.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's true. So, anyway, yeah, it's all about Six Flags. Not really.
No. That's where you can get shot and killed while you're trying to get on a roller coaster.
Yeah,
I'll never understand that where you're like, you want to go to a theme park to fucking get it on.
yeah, it's fucking dumb.
You gotta relax.
Yeah,
Get it on in the neighborhood.
so it's funny. We went to.
or don't get it on at all.
So I carry a pocket knife with me, right? And we went to the hospital to visit my nephew, my sister, and like so they had like no knives, no whatever. So I literally some old dude. And I feel bad, man, but social engineered my way into the hospital. So I just took my pocket knife, took it out, had it in my hand, took out my keys and my wallet, all holding my hand. Like, all right, go ahead. I got everything out of my pockets, and he scanned me, and then I just put it right back in my pockets and kept on walking.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I mean, people like walking in the hospital shooting and stabbing each other. But I mean, if you do get shot or stabbed, the hospital would probably be the best place for that to happen, correct?
Depending on the hospital.
No, I guess that's true. Staph infections are son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So
There's actually some kids in my neighborhood that have like acquired cellulitis and MRSA.
what is cellulitis?
It's a fucking I could get
We just talked about it.
Yeah, it's the same shit that Fisher had.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess we could get into news.
Sure. Why not?
There's not a whole lot to talk about because we're recording so early in the week.
Well, that's it, folks. Have a great day, and
Maybe
check out our Patreon.
Hopefully all the big news will break tomorrow.
I know, right? That'd be our luck.
Because he's in space. Tom Holland announces the new Spider-Man film.
Oh, yeah.
Far From Home.
Yeah.
And he like let it out. I don't think he was meant to let it out.
Oh, really?
It says here he accidentally leaked the news in an Instagram video where he was trying to apologize to fans for not having any updates.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I bet that's all a fucking scam. I bet that was engineered.
So, he says before revealing to his fan base that he had received the script and had only just begun reading through it, he then proceeds to show off the title page, revealing the official title, and does his best to hold it in view for an extended period of time so everyone can read it.
Yeah, that was intentional.
Considering the sequel is expected to take our hero to London and to other European locations on what we can only assume is an extended class field trip, it makes sense that the title for the new adventure would reflect on its fresh setting.
Yeah, I don't want to see Spider-Man swinging from Big Ben.
I don't either, man. I like
Spider-Man only works in New York. Or maybe Chicago.
No, I think it only feels right in New York. I think it can work anywhere, but like when he was in DC, I was like, this doesn't feel right.
Because there's nothing for him to swing on.
No, but I mean, he was still crawling up the
yeah. That's what
giant penis
crawling. The pencil, the Washington Monument.
But
penis. Everything's a penis with you.
I mean, it is like a phallic thing. It's like his history is
obelisk. Can't talk today.
But I think that there's plenty of tall buildings in cities, but
yeah, but I mean, you like
there's plenty of tall buildings.
To do what he's doing, you have to have skyscrapers, not just like 10-story buildings. I guess he's in Queens doing it, so maybe it's fine. Yeah, maybe.
But I think that it just feels. I just think he's like. It's like Batman out of Gotham. You can watch Batman out of Gotham, but it never feels right.
I was fine with Batman in Hong Kong. He'll go to Hong Kong.
Yeah, but if the whole movie was there, I'd be like, trash.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Just a hot second, bring him on back.
Yeah, like it was fine when Peter was in DC for a hot second.
I have a good story to tell you about Doug's, but I can't tell you on the air.
Should I pause it?
Nah, I'll remember. This is pretty good.
You forgot that other story.
But I did end up telling you.
I still haven't told Pam about that story.
Oh, congratulations, iPhone user. All right, so the next one, Kryptonian lives matter? The gentleman from Lois and Clark
Yeah.
ends up,
Dean Cain?
yes, joining the police.
Yeah.
The police force.
Yep.
Did you read that article?
I think it's referred to like an auxiliary policeman or whatever.
Oh, it's like a volunteer.
It's like, yeah, it's a volunteer. He's on a paid position, but
Right.
he's still sworn in and has arrest authorities and stuff like that. He's not the only celebrity who's done shit like that. Dan Aykroyd is one as well.
It's weird.
I know, yeah, but he just like you know what, and Dean Cain's actually a pretty decent guy. You know what I mean? But I think it's just people want to wear a badge and a gun. Like that's why they so famous people like it's like this honorary doctorate for famous people as well. Like you're not a real fucking doctor. But then some school gives you.
Does
a
he
doctor.
get a gun?
Yeah, he had a fucking gun on him and everything. Like he had a full web gear.
Because I've seen auxiliary police officers that don't carry guns.
Well, I think depending on your jurisdiction or your
I'm sure.
municipality, there's probably different things. But I think it might not be called a auxiliary policeman, but I mean it's the equivalent of a volunteer fireman, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Or firefighter. Excuse me.
Yes, you can't say that.
Yeah.
Fire people.
Yeah, fire persons.
They're actually people made of fire. Solid fire.
Solid fire. Oh man. I was wrestling with my dog the other day and he fucking like bumped my eye socket. Shit hurts, man.
I was at a dinner party one time
Yeah.
and we were cooking dinner and I was cooking the broccoli. It's like one of my specialties. And somebody in the other room was like, "Oh, there's broccoli? Oh, Claire or whoever it was is really going to love this. She's a real broccoli person." And I said, and like from from the kitchen, I was like, "Oh my God, her too." And I came running into the dining room with like my hands and my long sleeves and like two stalks like out of my hands. And I went, I was like shaking the broccoli stalks around. You know, from one broccoli person to another.
You know, it's so funny. Like every once in a while, you do some shit like that to somebody, and they don't know what to fucking do.
Yeah, no.
They're just like, "You've just broken every social norm known to man," and they just had this look on their face, like, "Am I supposed to laugh right now? Am I supposed to be scared?"
There's only like two people in the room that got it. Like, you know, like,
because we were at Busch Gardens, and we had like the Howling Griffin,
oh yeah,
and like you turned to somebody, and you were like. This fucking horrible face, but then it's like you start flapping your arms. But it's not a fast flap. It's like a slow, undulating
like
flap.
big wings.
Like you're doing the butterfly when you're swimming. Oh, that shit is so funny, man. And then our wives look at us like we're funny. All right.
Let's see what's
So, what do you
next.
think about that? You think it's pretty cool? I wonder if he's gonna have a Superman symbol under his shirt.
Yeah, I think that anybody that serves something bigger than themselves is cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Like me when I was in the military.
The Salvation Army.
The Salvation Army. Yes.
Oh man.
Supergirl, Red Sun. Have you seen this?
Yeah, tell me about. I mean, like I'm assuming that they're gonna do an Elseworld where she lands on the Red Sun planet.
Well, all signs seem to point at the fact that this second Supergirl will serve as the next season's main villain. An interview with let me just say this. With executive producers, said, "For fans of the comics, I think they might recognize the story we want to tell is inspired by the iconic DC Comics Red Sun, which told an alternate origin story for Superman." The great thing, though, honestly, about Red Sun is not only does it kind of turn like the archetype on its head in terms of culture and how this child would have been raised, but it's also written by Mark Millar!
Dude, you look like the judge from Roger Rabbit with that face, and he looked just like this. Oh god, this podcast would be trash.
Yeah, it's fun. They can't all be winners.
They can't.
So
I mean,
yeah,
Red Sun is a good story.
it is. I don't know if I need to. I don't know if I need to be bothered with it in the Supergirl. Like if that's how we're going to explore that story, I prefer.
Dude, why
it not
can't
be
they
done
come
in
up with
Supergirl.
original ideas? Like they like Green Arrow just borrows everything from Batman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Flash is. I mean, I stopped watching it. You know.
Yeah.
And the Supergirl, I stopped watching it for other reasons. It's just fucking dumb.
Dumb, stupid.
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 Dumb.
Dumb Mac. And then the next note is about, it's just titled, "Oh Dear Lord Almighty." It's this Chris Pine shit from Wonder Woman 2. Have you read this?
No.
Dude, this sounds dumb as fuck.
Please.
So according to Twitter user, Steve Trevor returns in the year 1984 in a different body. Okay, non-believers, here's 2 things I heard about Wonder Woman 84. Steve is someone else's body, so when Wonder Woman kisses him, she sees Steve Trevor, but she's actually kissing another guy. Another possible tidbit is that Wonder Woman can fly by lassoing the wind, and it is noted these were development ideas and could have changed.
Why can't you just fly?
I know.
Yeah.
One more idea that looks to have been scrapped is that Wonder Woman saves the day by lassoing a radio antenna to spread the power of her lasso across the globe. With it again noted, this was part of the development, so hopefully people came to their senses and scrapped that.
I mean, maybe they just like, we'll throw some dumb ideas out and then like, oh, that's stupid.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just all bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, we know that Chris Pine is in it.
Yeah.
You know? Oh! I gotta back up.
Okay.
I gotta back up on my nerd week.
Okay.
Sunday, we went to Toys R Us. It was the last. It was the last day. I took a couple pictures of it. It is fucking sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
I stopped going months ago because I was like, it's bumming me out.
I mean, so
I wanted to buy a cart though. I just don't have the space for it. But the carts they were selling for $35.
They might. Fuck. Well.
But I just don't have the space.
So you go in the main 2 doors, and you know that little, like, you take a right in that aisle right there. That's all that was there. That little aisle. That's it.
Yeesh.
I mean, but there was like people in there, man, that would go in there, and they would, because it was 80% off of everything. So they would literally buy 30 play sets of the same thing. It's like, motherfucker, why don't you share a little bit? God damn it. You know what I mean? So it was my daughter's birthday, and like, you know, we've always gone there, and you let them buy a toy, you get the hat, the balloon, and they say their name over the loudspeaker and anything. That really fucking bummed us out. Like, I was like, to my wife, like, we shouldn't go there. This is the last day, and it's gonna be bad. But they got a couple little things. But there were some video games there. One was Star Trek. That's why it reminded me, and they're like $1.50 each for some PlayStation games. So like, fuck it. I mean, for $1.50,
yeah, sure.
You know,
it's worth a shot.
Yeah, fuck yeah. There's like 3 of them I got, but the only movie they had left that was a full-length major motion picture that was released in the theater, and they had literally 100 copies. Was, are you ready? X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah. I saw that. You know what else I found funny was on the second shelf? Did you see what was on the second shelf?
No, what was it?
The Force Awakens pre-order box. It's like not even the movie.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
Just
yeah,
it comes with like 4 postcards.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
still buy that.
It's fucking stupid, man. So I didn't know what that was. So anyway, I was gonna buy like 20 of those copies because it was literally like, I want to say the movie was down to like $9.99, and there was 80% off of that, so it's under $2 a movie, you know. And I was like, dude, if I buy like 10 of these things and like wrap them up for the white elephant gift, so like every movie that somebody buys is X-Men Origins. But Pam wouldn't let me do it. I was like, oh, dude, that'd be so funny.
Would
like
be funny.
every DVD in there would be X-Men Origins.
That would be funny.
So, but I mean, I know some people were taking that shit and like, probably put it on eBay or whatever. You know,
I can't wait for Christmas this year because I've already pre-ordered your Christmas gift, and like it's kind of a gag, but you'll probably kind of dig it at the same time.
Okay.
And it's like it's a high quality thing. It's not like a trash thing. Like it's not like a you know.
Hey,
like
I think it was $200, man.
No, it was not. But it is like it's like a high quality thing, and it's just like, I mean, you'll get it when you see it, but it's like, it's fucking good.
All right.
So let's move on. We did get some Q&As.
That's all the news?
Yeah.
Are you
that's
serious?
all the non-Star Wars news.
Jesus, we're not even 50 minutes yet. Sorry, Jisk. I got to get on here just to look to see if...
I mean, we don't need to stretch it. We can, explore some of these questions.
All right.
Somebody wasn't like a real question. They were just having a gag at something Mario posted. They said, is Star Wars under the new ownership becoming the new DCEU? That was Anthony Simon. Shout out to him. Shout out to everybody that participates in the Facebook conversations and stuff. That's pretty cool. And then we have all sorts of questions. So I don't even know where to start. There's so many. I'll go backwards. How about that? So we just got one in from Michael T. He says, hey, NRR team, I may be a little late to the party with this, but I have an evil genius question. Something still bothers me after seeing the documentary. How did they plan on getting the cash from Brian Wells, the pizza guy? As genius as the plan was, they would have had to have known he wasn't dependable physically or mentally, and he was going to be swarmed with cops instantly. The cops also said the directions and path he was directed to travel most likely could not be done before having it explode. Is there something I am missing, or did they just get the last part of their plan wrong? Also, do you believe his prostitute girlfriend's testimony at the end?
All right, so... two things. They kind of outlined it might have just been revenge on the PNC Bank from the crazy woman's thing. Like she never really wanted the money. You know what I mean? They flirted with that. Like she was just trying to fuck PNC Bank because they fucked her out of some shit. And the other thing is that I do believe that the ex-prostitute girlfriend.
I do too.
I think she's very sincere. Because the thing is that her admitting that doesn't do anything for her but incriminate her.
Yeah, and put her life in jeopardy.
Yeah. So she feels guilty about that, and she wants to
I agree.
Get that off her chest. Yeah. So I don't think that he was in on it. I think that he was just a simple nice dude, and he got caught up with these people.
He does raise an interesting question though of what the plan was. Like that is like the big fragile.
Yeah, but I think these people
member.
I think these people are fucking crazy, and they can't. They're like, what's her face just wasn't as smart as she thought she was tactically. You know what I mean? Like manipulatively, yeah, she's pretty fucking smart. But they had some harebrained idea, and the first rule of a plan is a plan's never going to work. You know what I mean? Whatever you plan for, something else happens, and you adjust the plan as need be. And I think she thinks in such absolute terms that she's so right. She's so narcissistic and egotistical. She thinks that anything that she says is going to work out exactly how it's supposed to work out. And so in some kind of crazy, deranged place, like remember, we're not talking about a sane person here. She just thought it was going to go according to plan.
Right.
Maybe. And you never knew that first, they saw that truck there. So that first spot where they saw that truck in the field, they could have been there to pick up the money, and everything else could have been, they could have got the money, or he could have dropped the money someplace, and then he could have gone around to do the other like key things or whatever. And that was all bullshit just to distract people. So I don't know. And the cops, I think they just said the cops did come up on them pretty quickly. They were like right there. There was a unit right there.
Yeah.
So within like a minute or so.
Yeah, that guy, he knew. Like, he knew it was a wrap.
Oh yeah, the victim.
Yeah. We got real quick. The show is now available on Spotify.
Yes.
So that's
what does that mean? I've never used Spotify before.
It's just a very popular podcasting. Well, it's a very popular streaming service.
Gotcha.
For audio shit, and we submitted it, and it just recently became approved. So
cool.
Tell a friend. We got a question from Chevy 4x4. We actually got two. He said, "Is Luke really more powerful than Ben Swallow?"
Like not for nothing, watching Thor and Ragnarok and how Loki has astral projected himself throughout the series. I like it kind of takes away from because it is kind of fucking cool that fucking Luke does it across the fucking galaxy.
Yeah,
and it is, but it's like, oh, we've kind of seen this before, and after watching him throw shit through Loki constantly, and at the end with Luke, it did I just wish. I wish there was more time separating. Like this movies came out like in the same year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish there was more time separating for that.
He said, "I'm not sure the silver sneakers Luke could outduel him." Thoughts? So I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think that
Luke has never been a good duelist.
Yeah, I don't think that Luke could outduel him necessarily, but I also think he's more powerful than him.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just because he in one particular discipline, you know, he may not be able to overcome him. Like he overcame him by not even being there. Like that's to me, that's like power beyond measure. You know, in comparison.
I mean, it's definitely interesting, and it's a different kind of level. But I don't know, man. Like that's one problem with some of the Star Wars stuff. Like there's that one part in, like we never get to see how powerful Anakin becomes, because even when he's fighting Luke, which is arguably the most powerful we've seen Anakin Skywalker.
See, I disagree.
Really?
Yeah, I think that we saw how powerful Anakin was
when
Episode 3. I don't think he was ever as powerful as he was at the end of Episode 3.
Well, yeah, but all we saw him was dueling, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
And a little bit of instinctive stuff. Like we talked about with Gary that day when Gary was like, when he walks out of that room and that guy takes a shot of him and it's just instinctually throws his lightsaber behind his back, where it's just, it's second nature.
Yeah.
It's spider sense.
But like there's something to be said, like when he's sitting there with his lightsaber and he's not even using his hands and just shit's flying off everywhere. Nobody else has ever done that. Every other Force user who's ever manipulated matter has always had to point to it with their hand. Even Yoda had to put his lightsaber away.
Well,
so
I think
that's something to be said.
I think that he had to get out of the practice of using his hands.
Maybe. But there's other thing too, is that he force choked somebody through space. And I mean, like he wasn't in the same room; he was in a view, and that's pretty powerful. Now, we saw Snoke do it as well, and Snoke was like outside of. We don't even know the fuck where Snoke was. Like he wasn't even in the same star system because he didn't come until later.
Wait,
when he did that too in Last Jedi.
Oh, okay.
You know, he's like sliding on the floor. He's like he's force choking him and moving around.
Yeah,
so, I would bet what we've seen. I would argue that Snoke is probably the most dynamic telekinesis user we've ever seen.
Possibly.
I mean, yeah. Yoda and Palpatine's fight in the Senate was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Like jumping and being, you know.
Hurling those fucking things.
Yeah. And, I mean, Palpatine had like 3 or 4 floating at the same time.
Yeah.
But even...
And then Yoda spins one for no reason.
Yeah, he gives it energy. He gives it more momentum. But because he couldn't stop it. You know what I mean?
It's like he was petting a hair.
I like that bit.
It's fine. My favorite, one of my favorite scenes of Episode 3 is when it's a long shot and that center console is rising up through the Senate and they're having a duel on it. And you know, you've been invested in this Senate now for 3 films. You know what it means. It's literally the fight over government happening in the place of government. Like it's very Star Wars. And the music's hitting. And
Yep. And then you got Anakin and Obi-Wan going back and forth as well. So I would be interested in getting some actual technical, you know, objective readouts from a storyteller. Like this is how powerful Sidious is versus Snoke. You know, because even
come with a little stat card. Like
I want a stat card. I do. Because I do understand that Ben outthought him. Ben used his hubris against him in defeating him.
And Snoke.
Yeah. And so that's kind of cool for Ben. And it does make me wonder with Ben's character. This is something I've wanted to talk to you about for a while now, but we always get sidetracked with Star Wars. It makes me wonder if Ben's anger and his temper tantrums are all an act. It's a feint of weakness. You know, like the mask, everything is bullshit. And like I wonder now in Episode 8 if we're going to see a very different Ben Solo who is cool, calm, and collected, and like everything he was doing before was just a fucking trick. He is still a little ragey at the end of 8. You see that? But like, is he still in character, or is that going to be something that changes now that Snoke's not around? Because you could argue like he'd been acting this way for so long that it's not something that's going to switch is going to hit.
Yeah.
But I mean, he definitely feinted that weakness to Snoke.
Yeah,
you know,
but
to be
I think
an
he's
impetuous
also
child.
I think he is an emotional character. Like I think him
Definitely
smashing that helmet, like that's all real. Like, and I think that was his. It was humiliating for him.
Yeah, yeah. But at the same time, is that just an act?
I don't think so because it was private.
Yeah, but who knows how
I don't know.
Snow can see into you?
Sure, I think I prefer that to be real. Like I prefer that to be like, like that. That humiliating thing is like public, like being like shamed.
Mhm.
Like
in front of all those Praetorian guards,
all those Praetorian
like fucking
guards,
50
like
of
my
them.
entire collection. But like in front of like the only, like, unfortunately, the only father figure you've come to trust.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or look up to, admire, maybe it'd be a better word. But I dig that a lot. I think that.
I mean, I'm sorry. Finish the thought.
I think that Luke is far more powerful than him. I just think it's like it's different. It's like, I think that Vader was more powerful than Luke, but I think that Luke was in his physical prime.
Mm-hmm.
So
rock, paper, scissors type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he could overcome him.
Yeah.
With a little dark side seasoning.
Shit. You think about Ben though, he might be the most treacherous character that we've seen in Star Wars. I mean, he has killed his father. He has tried to kill his master. He's killed his other master.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to. I mean, you can argue that he tried to kill his mom, and he paused there for a hot second.
Yeah, he didn't. When push came to shove, he couldn't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I agree. He probably is. And
I mean, but he still had time on that run. You know what I mean? Before the other ships came in there and shot it. You know what I mean? Like,
and killing his master is killing his uncle. Like it's all. It's a twofer.
Yeah. So
but he hates him.
Yeah, and he would have killed Chewbacca and blown up that ship.
Yeah.
So he didn't kill anybody, and you can argue that the only person that he's kind of loyal to in a way is Rey.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, dude, Hux's days have got to be numbered.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It's like,
he's not going to make it through the next one.
I mean, you should maybe
would be my guess.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. I doubt that he will live as well, but it would be interesting if he did live.
Yeah.
But
that, like, I will kill you and her and all of it.
Yeah.
Like, I think he might be he's a different type of villain because he is like a megalomaniac. Like I don't think that he has righteous intentions. Like I think
really?
Like I think that even Vader and Palpatine to an extent believe in what they're doing for the right reasons.
What does he believe in, you think?
I don't know. I want to know more about him.
I mean, he talks about wisdom and and I guess balancing the universe, but like he may be just a fucking little sociopath.
Yeah.
I
think that he has the most childhood trauma, emotionally.
Yeah. I will say this. Ultimately, I will lose a little interest in him if he's just a fucking mindless killing machine. Like, I don't need a Jason Voorhees in space.
No, but I don't think he is that. I think he's already more complicated than that.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, his motivations that we've seen thus far are interesting, but I'm going to need a little bit more. Like, why did he kill Snoke? Why do you think? Just to seize power?
And I think he doesn't want to kill her. He didn't at the time. He didn't want to kill Rey.
Yeah,
but
why do you think he didn't want to kill Rey?
Because I think he believed in the vision of the two of them ruling together.
Yeah, okay.
But I think that by the time that he talks to Skywalker at the end, the betrayal from Rey has already sunk in for him.
Probably.
I think that's why you can say, "I'll destroy you, her," and all of it.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll see him, flip though.
Yeah, I mean, I told you,
that's what you want.
That's what I know will never happen. But I would love to see her go dark and him go light and end more of an episode 3 way than an episode 6 way.
Yeah. What if she did? What if her going dark is what saves him? They kind of make her Jason.
Right. Right. Like I think,
and she dies.
I think that's. I would rather see her set up as a bigger villain for like future films. And I'm talking about like extreme, like by the end of it, like shave the sides of her head, tattoo her face up a little bit. Like I'm talking about like commit. Only because I think that's like the, that shock and awe of it.
Yeah.
And especially with just kind of how like how darling she is in a way,
Yeah.
like it would be a
Little
pretty
cute patoot.
it would be a pretty big gut punch.
Yeah, maybe.
And we don't know what that feels like because we always knew it was going to happen to Anakin.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
That's true.
This is the first time that we've seen a Star Wars saga that we don't know how it's going to end.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And then the second question is, what's up with Bobby's palate? I feel like air makes him gag.
It's fucking trash.
I think we all wonder what tragic experiences you suffered to deny you the pleasures of the tongue, so to speak. Thanks, fellas. NRR is a huge part of my week. Sean. So,
all right. So first off,
yeah,
I'm leery about answering this, which I think you should answer it. But I do think it's more complex, and you're going to make it just about your mom's spaghetti sauce.
No, it wasn't about spaghetti sauce. Mom's spaghetti. It was I'm definitely a texture oriented person, so that's usually what is my biggest turnoffs to all food. It's not necessarily flavor, it's texture. So like gummy shit or chewy shit is usually a big turnoff for me, which is why like fat on meat is like an instant let go, which is why my bacon is cooked well done. It's like, and I think it originates, my mother was a shit cook. She could bake her ass off, but she was a shit cook. And my mother was a drunk and
a fiend
and a gambler, and a driver and a flyer.
that shit, that conversations between you and Laura, that shit is fucking gold.
It's like something we do all the time now, so it's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, she was extremely emotionally abusive and physically abusive, and her fucking food was trash, and like we had to eat what was on our plate, but which I know a lot of kids do. But if you didn't eat it in a certain amount of time, like she would jam it down your throat, like so to speak, with a spoon. And if you coughed any of it up, you had 20. It was count to 10. Count to 10. You had 10 seconds to chew it and swallow it, or another spoonful came in. And then you had 10 seconds to chew and swallow both. And it was like a countdown. And her and her husband at the time would do it together. Like it was like a fucking game show, And if you threw up, so they would threaten you with this all the time. The only time it was actually done was Tug. Tug threw up at the dinner table, and she made him eat a spoonful of that as well. And like that was my like I.
And we wonder why he's on the heroin.
Yeah, and I dreaded dinner at my mother's house. Like, I would ask her like first thing in the morning, like, what are we having for dinner? And I would try to I would do all, fake being sick, hurt myself, to like get out of it. And, I stuffed food in my pockets all the time and took it to the toilet and flushed it down the toilet. And, and then I did that at your house and your mom caught me.
No, it was like we caught it. Like we're like, you don't. No, stepdad was like, Bobby, you don't have to eat it if you don't want to. And you were like 14, 13?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But like it was terrifying.
Maybe you were 12. You might have been 12.
I never ate at friends' houses, usually because I was so mortified. Like the only place where I didn't, my life experience was pretty much split between my father's house, who he was pretty much like, eat what you want. Like, and if you don't want it, don't eat it. And you're not going to starve yourself, so eventually you will either eat something or you're going to starve yourself. And I don't think you're going to starve yourself.
Yeah.
And my mother's house was the exact opposite. So like my worldview of how people eat was very 50-50, so I never would go over to anybody's house to eat dinner because I was always mortified that it was going to be like my mother's house. Petrified by you. So yeah. And then I when I was a young lad, I remember telling myself like, when there will come a day when you will get to make your own decisions regarding this shit, and you will never eat anything you don't want to eat. So I don't, but I've talked about, like, Laura will try to get me to talk about some of that stuff from time to time.
I think you need to.
I think you're probably right, and so is she. But like, I have in my older age, and I'm not sure if this is accurate because I'm so far removed time wise from it all. But like, when I think about it and I start getting anxious while thinking about it, I do believe that like the big thing for me like that was horrifying was the absolute powerlessness over your situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like where you were not in control of anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, like the rug could be stripped from under you at any given time and you just never fucking
Well, I mean,
knew.
your mom abandoned you in a house by yourself and you're like 3 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you recall any of those events at all?
Yeah.
When she left? No, when she left your dad, your dad and no furniture?
No, I don't recall that. I don't recall a lot of that, but I do recall living with her. I do recall the Ryder truck. Like I had this crystal clear memory of watching her close the trailer. For those listening, like my mom was homeless, and when she decided, so my mom left, and she left me in the house. My dad came home from work. I was 3 years old. My dad called her. His bank accounts had been emptied. Furniture, the house was stripped, minus like 2 pieces of furniture. And my dad called her and was like, "I'm good. See you around.
Yeah.
I don't want anything else. I got him and I'm good to go." So then my mom wanted me.
Yeah.
And the court initially granted her custody, even though she didn't have a permanent residence. She was actually living with someone, and it's like real white trash shit. So the person that she was living with, my dad was dating since they had split up. Like they had started talking. They weren't really dating, but they had started talking, and she didn't want to ruin her relationship chances with my father. So she put me and my mom out on the street.
Oh, wow.
And my dad was none the wiser.
Yeah.
So my mom knew a person that worked for Ryder Truck. I don't even know if they're still around, but they used to have like big yellow trucks back then.
Oh, yeah. Ryder Truck's still around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she knew somebody that worked for them. They let us go in. There used to be one off Dobbin Road, like a big facility, and they used to let us in, and this guy would like open up the box truck, like the back of the box truck, and we went in and we had like a little mattress and shit, and like I remember I had this crystal clear vision of my mom like closing, like seeing like Hoth, you know what I mean? Like when the doors close, like when the Jabba's palace doors like closing down, the sun is like being blocked out. And then, you know, we lived in a trailer, and I have memories of the trailer. I have memories of the landlord coming to the trailer and yelling at my mom. Like, I have memories, like crystal clear memories of that. But my like kind of regular state memories start when we lived in the apartment. Like when we moved to a garden style apartment. And then that's when my memories like really start locking in. It was around that era. And I mean, like, you know, it was, you know, like, dude, I mean, like, I used to fucking have pictures of my ass showing up on screens on fucking in courtrooms and shit.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, I'm sitting there and I'm like, the whole entire room is looking at my ass because it got like, it's, you know, the welts and fucking. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, cover it up. You know, like, you know, and I mean, like, actually, I mean, I was too young to wipe my ass. That's the only reason why my dad even found out about stuff like that was like, I was like, I need my ass wiped, and I like called for help, and like my grandma came in and was like, what the fuck, you know, and then like then they started.
Because weren't you one of the first?
Yeah, in our county, I was one of the first ones that got awarded custody to their father.
Yeah.
Yep.
The years.
Yep.
It's fucking crazy.
Yep.
She was crazy, bitch.
Yeah, and still is, I'm sure.
Yeah. Back to food, though.
Yes.
I do believe that, you know, when we went to Europe, I was pretty surprised. You tried everything, you know?
I will try it.
Yeah. You gave everything a whirl. Even that Vegemite, which needs to be that needs to be the $100 Patreon. I still have that video.
I know you do. I found the video of all of our YouTube stuff except for the Jurassic Park one. The Jurassic Park one's not on that disc.
Really?
I have all the other ones, but not the Jurassic Park one.
Huh. I got it someplace. Yeah. I'm sure.
But anyway.
But yeah, man, the fucking it's funny, man. That's one we've had an idea for a YouTube channel for a while. Called Trunculent Delights. To be truculent, it's gotta be like RU or whatever, delights like the food or whatever. But like I literally will probably eat anything. Like I had a Vietnamese friend of mine.
As long as it's gluten free.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll eat it. I just choose not to eat gluten. I mean, it's not that I don't like the taste of it.
No, you're right. Okay.
Yeah. And every once in a while, I'll fucking cheat on that.
Right.
That's just like a health issue. That's not a health issue. Just a preferable whatever. I had an injury and anti-inflammatory diet really helped me out. But so I had a friend, a Vietnamese cat, and like he always hated how he would say white people are like really trash with their eating habits. They're like pussies when it comes to eating food. So I would eat anything. Like I'll eat it. I'll give it a whirl.
Right.
And so it became kind of a game, like to him. Like, all right, let me find
if I can gross them out.
The fucking craziest shit. And this is a time. I guess this is a time before like Fear Factor came on. Dude, I would rock fucking Fear Factor.
Have you ever seen the Carl Pilkington fermented fish?
Yes. Yeah, that's like the first episode.
Is it?
Yeah, when he goes to China.
No, Japan. It's Japan.
Is it Japan?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It's been fermenting for like years.
I mean, the nastiest shit that I ever had.
He was like, "It's a lovely box they bring it in. Nothing wrong with that. But here's what you do: put it back in the box, put a lid on it, nail it shut."
So the nastiest thing I ever had was some kind of rotten tofu, and you literally would take like the size of your pinky cuticle, not the pinky nail,
right?
The cuticle. If you have well manicured hands, not like you. Look at that, all natural, baby, all natural. Drum.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, and you put that little ass fucking. It's like almost a grain of rice size piece of the shit in like a big mouthful of rice. And it would still taste like fucking somebody's fucking sweaty ass nasty gym socks in your mouth. And that was a nasty. And so I'm eating it. And I'm like, oh, this isn't good. And he's eating it too. He's like, never mind, we can stop. Because he had to eat it with me. You know what I mean?
I forgot this gag. I cut it out of the video that I did today. I cut this video together today, but I had a gag in it.
Yeah.
And I cut it out by accident. I'm going to have to go back and add it back in. I'm trying to get this hood up. Like there's a gimmick to the car mode. There's a gimmick to the car mode where you can get the hood like open.
Oh, cool.
Look underneath. And like it's like it's like stuck. I can't get it out. So like using tools and I'm like cutting together like all these, you know what I mean, like, and trying to open it. And then like I try to use like part of like a fingernail clipper. Yeah. And then I'm like, I went to add it back in because it was pretty good.
But I think we should do that eating, like, because one day we went to one of my favorite restaurants in downtown is called Wine Kitchen, and like they have it's good, and so we went there, and Bobby lasted like 5 minutes. He was like, "Can I get a Diet Coke?" And like, "Oh, actually, we only have artesian sodas that we make fresh here," and like, "Was it free refills?" And he's like, "Oh no, I'm sorry." And he looked at me like, "Dude, I can't fucking eat someplace I can't have a fucking Coke."
Yeah,
you know. And then he left. And I feel
ironically,
yeah,
I could go now because I don't drink soda anymore.
Oh really?
But like, I hate that shit, man. I hate when you're spending $50 plus for your meal, and then they want to charge you per soda.
Yeah,
I'm like, motherfucker, you're getting your money.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, now if you order iced tea, they're gonna charge you per iced tea.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, but you know, it's funny though. But I mean, and dude, like I don't give you a hard time about it. You know what I mean? Like you have your way. You have your way with food. You know,
a hard time doesn't bother me.
But the interesting thing is you've somehow passed this on to your children. It's like it's that like genetic trauma fucking theory. Yeah. Like I'm serious. I'm not bullshitting. Like there's theories out there that like parents who like went through a starvation period, like their grandkids there'll be effects in them genetically for the grandkids. It's fucking nuts, bro.
Yeah, I noticed it. Like I said, texture. I don't like surprises in my textures. So like, I don't like a cream filled donut because I like, you know what I mean. I don't want. I hate like pizza bowlies and shit. Will put like the pepperoni underneath the cheese. Like I want to know what I'm biting into. I don't want any surprises. I eat my pizza and I ration that shit out with ratios of pepperoni to cheese to sauce to bread. I don't need you to surprise me with throw a curveball.
You might need some immersion therapy with this one, man. So let me ask you a question. Like you recognize you have an issue with food.
Oh yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Do you want to be free of that burden? Are you interested in
it? Doesn't bother me.
Okay, you're fine.
The only time it bothers me is like I get together with buddies, usually throughout the week.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we'll do dinner together.
Yeah.
And we'll all go in, we'll pitch in some money and we'll cook some food together and we'll eat and have a good time. But whenever like, they have, they get together without me sometimes, I get together without some of them, et cetera, but like they always talk about how much of a good time it is when I'm not around because they don't have to like concede to my, odd little nuances regarding food, and that's the only time where it bothers me. Where I feel like I'm fucking it up for other people.
Yeah,
But in terms of my lifestyle, I'm fine with it. Like,
yeah,
I like enough shit, and I'm willing to try anything. Like, people say I won't, but I will give anything a shot. But
everybody gets one.
The thing is you just kind of have to take my word for it that if I don't like it, I don't like it, and if I do like it, it could change my life forever. You know, there was a time where I wouldn't eat a salad to save your life, you know, but then I tried Caesar salad and I loved it, and now I have Caesar salad all the time.
I went to Chipotle.
Yeah,
on a humble.
Yeah. And I love that shit now. Yeah. I can only eat it when I'm not working for 5 days, just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. You know, it's the weirdest thing, that Chipotle shit. Like,
the Chipotle shit.
Yeah.
Or like Chipotle shit.
Chipotle shit.
Okay, just making sure.
I get terrible gas pains.
Really?
Yeah, and it's not every time. It's a dice roll. Like, it's not like every time I get it. It's just sometimes.
And you get the same thing?
Same exact thing. Terrible gas pains where you feel like you got to go downstairs and let loose like you know what I mean? Like the type of gas pains where you're like, this shit is going to take 20.
Dude, when you did that face, you look like your dad.
Like bossing ass.
No, just your cheeks.
But like, it looks like it feels like I'm like, oh, this is going to be a 20-second adventure. And, you know, one square of toilet paper, and I'm going to be out the door on this. No problem.
Yeah.
But I go down, and it's a struggle. It's a struggle. It's like a 10 to 20-minute struggle.
Yeah.
But it feels like I should be having explosive diarrhea. And it's the only food I eat that gives me that exact symptom. I only get that symptom with Chipotle, and I don't get it 100% of the time. I get it like 50% of the time.
That's weird.
It feels like I'm going to shit my brains out, and I can't.
You know what's funny, man? Like, recently, since we're talking about shit, I love the Joe Rogan podcast.
I know that.
But,
I know this about
you. Kelly, what's her name? Dr. Patrick. What's her first name? Rita Patrick? That doesn't sound right.
Seuss.
No.
Zhivago.
No.
Doolittle.
No.
Doom.
No.
So you say.
Yeah. Anyway, she was talking about like some kind of broccoli, like she's always like, here's a new hotness with like health trends, and there's a couple of them. Like, there's one that I take for like lion's mane mushroom for like memory and shit. And I've noticed a difference.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, because for a sec, like, my memory, kind of proud of it,
and
it separates me from you simpletons. I can't remember shit and tell me the same story over and over again.
But what's funny is yeah.
I mean, everybody does it. You know, sometimes you forget who you tell.
There's a lot of times where I'm like, we just talked about this. Like, I just told, you know.
Well, hey, maybe you're that person for me.
Well, I think.
Let me finish.
Okay.
So she told me about this broccoli one, right? Like, you know, helps with your gut flora, whatever, fauna, whatever the fucking term is. Because I think there's little creatures in there and mold in there. It doesn't matter.
And like the little.
But dude, it is like the best. Like, I take that shit, and then I take that shit.
Right.
And I mean, it's like perfect. It's awesome.
Well, I
love
have
it.
Like that situation with me is usually easy come, easy go. Like it's not a problem. But that Chipotle, and what's funny is when I do finally have success,
good at success,
it is diarrhea.
Really?
But it's like diarrhea that doesn't. It's like stubborn diarrhea.
Dude, name of this podcast: Stubborn Diarrhea.
All right, that's enough shit.
Broccoli Max. That's enough shit talk. Do we answer his question though about food?
Yeah,
you're just weirdo.
Yeah, and you know, some childhood shit attached to it. So we got a message from Jose.
I think we need to do a Patreon for your therapist.
Yeah, we need to do a Dr. Francis because I have the material to do the review. So we need to set up a time and knock these out. So they're not even mine. I got to mail them back to this guy. So I got to get that done. He says, "Hi guys, hope everyone is well and Joe made it back safe from Goku land. Listening to you guys talk about listening to you guys talk about getting soft over the years had me thinking quite a bit. I am also in the feels train. I have noticed that my feelings button has been activated quite often. In fact, more than usual as I'm getting older. My question is, do you guys think that the exposure to social media, Facebook, Twitter, etc., has something to do with it? I sometimes feel overwhelmed by all the things happening over the world that I have to take a break from social media. Anywho, love the show, and Bobby, as a fellow veteran, if you ever need to up your VA compensation, I can hook you up with a guy. Sincerely, your favorite Goya bean."
Dude, I think it's just a lack of testosterone. I think it's just lowering testosterone as you get older, and that's why we're getting soft.
Well, I think it's also like
trash.
I think it's also that you like, you start to see your kids grow up, and you start to think about your childhood, and you start to age starts to mean a different thing to you. It's like I don't. It's because there's part of it for me that's like, look how far I came. Like that's a big part of
the
my
back of a Ryder truck to this.
Yeah, I like you know,
couldn't even. There's no Ryder truck that can contain all of this.
Yeah. I mean, like, dude, there are times where I'm like, man, like, every obstacle that I faced was not meant for me to be where I'm at. Like, the game and opposition was stacked against me, and I was able to maneuver it.
Or all those trials and tribulations put you exactly where you needed to be.
Possibly.
Yeah, that's the way I like to look at the world.
But like,
so it closes, the window opens.
So it is. It's a place of inspiration for me where I'm like, fuck, like I did it, and like sometimes like I'll look at my kids and I'll look at like how, I mean, of course if you ask them, they'll sing you the blues all goddamn day long, but I look at how easy they have it, and like parts of that irritate me on like a day-to-day basis, but like on a week-to-week, year-to-year basis, like it makes me incredibly happy.
Yeah,
like they don't have to know some of the things that I had to know about, and I'm very happy for that, so shit like that starts to fuck with me.
Yeah, I look at my oldest, and I was the oldest, and like at her age now, my parents are splitting up. You know what I mean? Dude, I'll tell you, man, my brother and I had a conversation. Now, keep in mind, folks, if you don't know, my dad is married to another man right now.
Another gentleman.
So the fact of my mom and dad staying together probably wasn't gonna happen. But all things being equal, I think that all four of the kids would have been better if they had just stuck it out and just did their own things by themselves. Like, hey, you go do what you want to do. I'm gonna do what we're gonna do. We'll be back here by 6 for dinner.
We're providing. We're gonna provide the family dynamic for you.
A stable family. Yeah, yeah. And not for nothing, I think financially it would have been better for both of them. Mm-hmm. I think that once the kids were like 18 or whatever, and everybody's cooked, fully baked, maybe they'll go do their own thing.
Right.
And not to say that, they're not happy-ish in their married lives as it is now, but like the state of everything is like,
fucked.
It is still fucked. You know what I mean? So anyway, oh dude, want to hear some other crazy shit? Put the business out there. Like,
don't say anything you regret.
No, I shouldn't say it. I'll pause it. I'll just tell you. I'll pause it real quick. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That might be the new.
So anyway, long story short, rough day.
I think I'm having a heart attack.
To anybody out there, I can't tell this story on the internet, but if you meet me at TFCon or Baltimore Comic Con, just remind me to tell you the story about the rough day.
Oh God, that might beat out the prostate joke. That might beat out the prostate joke. Oh God, dude, that is the. Was the last bit just ad lib right then and there? Oh, that's the best. Oh God. You need to just quit your day job and just
go on the road.
Oh God.
So
it's the little steps. It's the little steps.
And shout out to Esteban. He corrected us that Kevin Smith's podcast, he had Marcus and McFeely, the writers for the Cat movies, and Infinity War, not the Russo brothers. So shout out to Esteban. I was just,
oh God,
Esteban. Sometimes I just do things.
Fuck.
He said, Caleb said, tune in next
Hold on,
week.
Stop. I feel like that situation when you just bust with your wife and she wants to go again. Like, just relax for a second. Give me a minute. All right, I'm on Superman here. Hold on. Let me compose myself. Hold on. I literally stopped breathing for 5 minutes. I had to do some chest compressions and whatnot.
It's a pretty funny story. It's a pretty it's a tragic story, but it has some funny elements to it. You know what made me do it? I was looking at your face, and like when I could see on your face that you were like shocked by the behavior, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take it to the next level." Like immediately, I just zeroed in on it.
The greatest story never heard.
Yeah,
that's the name of this podcast.
Yeah, that's good. I will tell you that. I will tell you if you meet me at TFCon or Baltimore Comic Con or any sort of event, I'll be happy to tell you.
Dude, see that we just need to record that shit from now on, and then we can like cut it out and save it for later.
Right.
Because that shit is just
golden.
It's too good. It was too good. That'd have been it. That'd have been the video. That'd have been the one that Black Phillip had done a fucking clip on.
Yeah, or Manny,
and it'd been over. No, that would have to be animated. That would have to be animated.
That's true. That's a fair point.
Oh my god. I think I sharpened a little bit. I've got a huge erection. It's funny.
I think so we're that's it for questions.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
So we do have a couple Star Wars notes. One is sticking to a sure thing, but is it a good thing? So there's a new rumor circulating about what's going on behind the scenes at Lucasfilm, and the new rumor is, of course, the fucking websites are selling it as no more directors, no more, but what they're doing supposedly is they're not going to be taking any more chances on directors. Every director that steps into a Star Wars film will be an established director from this point forward.
So
in theory, rumor wise,
are they saying Rian Johnson is in that?
I don't think so. And what's
that would be interesting to me. So like,
I don't know though.
So,
but I think the article mainly points to two people, the Chris and Miller that were going to do Solo initially,
okay,
and Trank.
Yep.
Who they were going to get to do.
Dude, I can't talk anymore. I lost my voice from laughing so hard.
And then the guy, Trevorrow, who was going to do episode 9. But I think when they're saying established directors, they're talking about Ron Howard and J.J. Abrams and people of that caliber. But unfortunately for me, those are my two least favorite of the 4.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, dude, I really think that Garrett Edwards is... Like if I could choose one person to do all my Star Wars movies from this point forward, it would be him.
Really?
Like he has a love for that shit with an adult sensibility.
The nostalgia of it.
Yep.
Yeah. I can co-sign that.
So that's the word regarding that. I don't know how true it is.
We are actually, reestablishing our bonds with Star Wars little steps at a time.
Oh, he's walking.
Oh, Jesus.
So, spin off, more like spin on. So, Lucasfilm reported to ABC that Kenobi and Fett are definitely still in the works. I'm guessing that they're going to reevaluate after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that would be a real bummer.
I mean, Obi-Wan would be stupid to not do.
I totally agree, especially cashing in on that generation that seems to be passionate about Star Wars now.
And Ewan McGregor is at the perfect age.
Perfect age, yeah.
So we got to get on that.
I definitely agree. And I don't care about the Boba Fett movie, but there was rumors.
Stupid.
There was rumors of a Mos Eisley movie, like Tales of the Cantina or some shit like I don't know what Cantina. Why did I say it?
I don't know.
But there was rumors of that, like, and I don't care if they nix that or not. Like, that doesn't really have any real interest to me.
They need to stop capitalizing on everything. Like,
stop capitalizing on episode 4.
Yeah. You know what? Like, episode 23, the guy in the tower. Did you see that little clip?
Yeah.
I mean, I literally feel like that's where they're going.
Yeah. I think that I think it would be. I don't even care about a Fett movie. I really don't.
No, I mean,
I'll take whatever they give me because I'm just.
I mean, if it had Vader in it, I'd be down.
I mean, if it was like just a crime story, I'd be down.
Yeah.
But I'm much more interested in the Kenobi movie. I think that there's much more heart and soul there.
I did forget an alibi.
An alibi?
Mm-hmm. I have another alibi.
Oh, okay.
Finish the Star Wars. I'll get back to this. I actually want you to do a review on this.
Oh, you're.
But I might have to do a review on it my own
and upload it to the Missing Heroes channel.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. So the last note is, if you're a complete idiot, donate below. So.
Our Patreon page.
No, Patreon's been rocking off recently.
Yeah.
And thank you everybody for the feedback.
Calm down. Step that back a little bit. It's not rocking off anything ridiculous. I mean, it's
no.
Yeah,
I mean, as far as content.
As
far as content, like we've been pretty much doubling everything that we've promised as a minimum.
Yeah, I think so. The first Patreon goal was to buy the mixer, which we did. Mm-hmm. The second one is to buy a new computer because the one that we have is a trash.
Yeah.
It's old, tired, soft and trash. It's not soft. It's very hard. But
the dust inside it is soft.
Dust is very soft. So yeah, guys, if you can check out the Patreon and become a patron today, we really appreciate it. It helps us out.
And there's a lot of content.
A fucking ton
recently.
You might get a good story or two.
Yeah. There's also, and I think that if you donate now, you get back catalog access.
You do.
So that's cool too.
And also you get the show early.
Yes.
Ad free.
Ad free.
So no ads. No ads in this. If you listen to this now ad free early, you're on Patreon. You're already there, sweetheart.
Anyway, these guys have come out of nowhere and said that they were going to donate 25 million, I think, or 50 million, one of the two. And then I think they eventually said they would match whatever millions were raised to redo episode 8. This is a note that you shared.
Okay.
So
I didn't read it.
Oh, it's a fucking shit show. But the comments have been awesome. So they're saying all this. They're taking the donations, right? But the donations, you don't have to really give your money yet. It's just like, it's a promise that you will give the money when it's like
Kickstarter.
Is that how Kickstarter works? Mm-hmm. Like GoFundMe, you pay straight away.
No, not Kickstarter. So Kickstarter, you have to get to that number. So if you say, hey, we got to raise $10 million. If you get to 9,999,999, you don't get it.
And no money's taken out.
Yep.
So there's a bunch of them where the money goes out, and then if you fail, it comes back.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then they're going to go to Lucasfilm and convince them to let them do the movie, and then that's not going to happen. So let me tell you what is going to happen. If they do, like, because people are on there, like, you know, like people are on there joking, like, just donated 25 million. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have 25 million. They're like, I just created 4 different accounts and donated 1 million from each account. So like, they're not going to get their money, but if they did get their money, they're going to get right along with that. They're going to get their cease and desist letter.
Yeah,
and then,
well, here's a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't you make a movie if you're not selling it?
I don't know. I mean,
because if you're not profiting off of it,
I don't know. I don't know what the rules and regulations are to that. I don't even know what the rules and regulations are to fucking copyrighted material on YouTube, apparently.
Like, you do a fan film or whatever.
So here's like, I would caution anybody that's going to donate to this.
Dude, stop obstructing.
You're not going to get your money back.
Stop
You're not going to get your money back. You're not going to get your movie either. So,
what if it was possible though?
So they're taking submissions from fans for the writing. So it's like a think tank.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Color me intrigued.
So I don't know. I can't imagine it would be anything but a shit show when you have like thousands of people. I mean, I would guess millions of people that would have to donate to this to make it work.
Yeah.
And then all of them get to have their little ideas heard. Like, good luck. Good luck.
I don't feel like this sincere.
Yeah, it's not. It's very cynical. Tell me about your lamp.
All right, so let me pull some data. So my first Kickstarter ever was something called Lampster, right? And at the time, I just needed a lamp, and I found a lamp with an attitude. So basically, it's a little it's a tractor lamp. It's a cool looking lamp.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got like a little superhero like robot body. So it's like the head is the lamp. And this project was successfully funded on December 21st, 2015. They raised in San Francisco, California. They raised $1.3 million. It at the time, it might still be the highest, one of the highest,
grossing Patreons.
Patreon, no,
raised.
Patreon, raised Kickstarters ever, right?
I got Patreon on the
there's
brain.
been 24 updates since then. There were 6,148 buyers, backers. My lamp was $196. Yeah.
Why did you ever buy this?
Dude, I don't know. It was at a time where like I had a little extra cash going around, and like I literally was looking for a cool lamp, and like lamps can be $200-$300. You know what I mean?
They can also be like 60.
They can't be. They can't be. So because I was on I guess Facebook. You're looking up lamps, fucking Facebook, how they do their shit, and this thing popped up, and like, dude, cool, and like the video was done really cool. I'm gonna play a little bit of it real quick.
There's something about how things were made a while back. It's like magic. It has a certain feeling to it. It was an era when people had time to pay attention to every detail, and things were made to last. Inspired by the old headlights we've collected over the years, we combined our skills to create something useful, really amazing, we would be proud of having around.
Introducing the cool stuff.
I think that's good.
All right, pretty cool video.
Yeah, I agree.
The lamp looks pretty cool, right? So you'd think. Now, I've got some experience in the whole Kickstarter realm.
Sure.
So do you.
Sure.
And you always try to underpromise and overdeliver, not overpromise, underdeliver. So 2 years and counting. It's now like 2 years and 6 months that this fucking lamp has not shown up. And I mean, some motherfuckers paid up to $525, $595. It's ridiculous, right? So about back in December, and I could be a patient person, right? Back in December, I was like, hey guys, it's been 2 years, okay? And they were pushing out like an update like every other month or so. I want to read some of the dialogue, right? So back in December, I was like, hey, listen, what's the deal with the lamp? And they're like, oh, well, what color did you order? And I'm like, oh, dude, I don't even fucking know anymore. So I had to go back. I got the dual tone green with a little, battle dams, like rusting looking thing. And they're like, oh, man, those aren't done. That's been another 3 months unless you want to, for your shipping, unless you want to pay extra shipping and have it immediately sent to you. It's going to be another 3 months. Like, you know what? I'm not paying any more money for this lamp. I've already paid $196.
Right.
I'll wait 3 months.
Sure.
I waited 2 years. What's 3 months?
What's 3
Drop
months?
in the bucket, right? So on January 30th, this was in December.
Mm-hmm.
So on January 31st, like, hey, what's the status of my order? And I was one of the Kickstarter backers like over 2 years ago. Where can I get the status? Because at this time, I'm starting to see advertisements on their website. And I'm like, motherfucker, you better not be selling that fucking lamp on your website. I haven't got mine yet. So, hi, Adam. Can you confirm your configuration and address, please? And I did that. For your configuration, it will be around 1 to 3 months more waiting period. Thank you, and sorry it's taking so long. And so that was February 1st. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So May 5th, 1 to 3 months. Any status? It's been 1 to 3 months. What is your email you used in ordering, please? And I give my email address, backer614, and I did a picture of your pledge, correction, whatever, backer. So this is May 5th. So the first, yeah. So yeah. Please let me check with the team on Monday. Thank you. Thanks. Have a great day. May 5th came. I know I said it's a little dark here, but I'll try. And then so May 8th, which is Monday, came by. Hello again, just checking again. Hi, reply to message. Thank you for contacting the Lamster Help Desk. We received your request and we'll be getting back with you a response as quickly as possible. May 16th. So that was May 8th. This is May 16th. So 8 days later. Hello, no one is getting back to me. Checking with your team on Monday was like 10 days ago. Hi, reply to message. Thank you for contacting the Lamster Help Desk. We received your request. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. And then that was May 16th. May 20th, finally. Hi, Adam. Contact details are blah, blah, blah. Your address still blah, blah, blah. Should we update the email address? That's correct. And I also gave him, I said, I also have this email address. Hi, reply message. Thank you for contacting the Lamster Desk, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's been about 20 days. I've got nothing back from you. May 23rd. Hi, reply message to thank you for contacting Lampster Help Desk. All right. So this is still going on for 3 days. I'm just getting my fucking email right. So finally, I changed the email address. Do you remember what color you have? I believe it was OD with the weathering. Do you have an ETA? Hi, reply message. Thank you for contacting Lampster Help Desk. All right, so that was May 23rd, right? So June 9th. Why can no one tell me the status of my order? 6 months ago, it was 1 to 3 months. Now I have gone back and forth with you for over a month with no one able to assist me. I keep getting the same auto response, start over. What's the deal? My name is Adam. Please, blah, blah, blah. We are coming up on 2.5 years. I want to know when my lamp will arrive. I want some tracking information, ETA on delivery before you ask me the same question. Review the conversation on January 31st. At this point, don't worry about the paint. Just send me a black prime one. I'll paint it myself. Hi, thank you for contacting the Lampster Help Desk. We will receive your request. We'll be back to you as soon as possible. I will get that to the team, right? That's all I got, June 9th. So what is today? The 25th. So this was the 20th, right? Years of waiting for my lamp, and I can't plug it in.
Oh, my God.
That's right. It's a European plug. I say, years waiting and I can't plumb it. Come on, man. This is their fucking response. Hi, Adam. We made your order faster, and this is what was ready to send. I'm sorry, but the US batch, the US batch, was not ready. You can simply use an adapter for the plug. It's around $2 to $5. That's their fucking reply. And it was mailed from Romania. So they're outsourcing this. They're a San Francisco company. They're outsourcing this to Romania, and that's where it came from. $2 to $5 purchase is all I need. That's my problem. I'm being a cheapskate. So, and it was a black one. It does have the weathering, but like, it's like, I want to do a review for it because I'm like not happy.
Right.
So they add these little shoes, these little trash looking rubber shoes, because the base of the lamp is so slick and it's so top heavy. You can just go boop.
Right.
And the body is like fucking hollow, cheap plastic. And then the lamp head seems pretty cool, but like the touch button knob is like off center. It's like little shit like that. And like looking where the frame is glued together, there's like a bunch of scratch marks where it was epoxy together and everything. It's fucking trash, man. I mean, like I don't even know if it fucking works. I don't even know if it works, so I can't plug it in.
Wow.
So like part of me just wants to take it to like a lamp store, like they can cut the wire and put on a fucking US plug. I mean, there's places they can do that. And I mean, it looks nice. Like the packaging was nice, and the little pamphlet was nice, and blah 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 blah. And I did order an adapter just to see if it fucking works, but I shouldn't have to order an adapter.
Of course not.
It's fucking ridiculous. So I kind of wanted you guys made $1.3 million with these lamps, right? And I don't know what your profit margin for lamp is, and maybe it costs more than $196 or whatever. But you know what? That's not my fucking fault. And I would bet that not everybody gets their lamp from this company.
Yeah, I don't think you would have gotten yours had you not been writing them for months and months and months.
And they just grab one off the thing. And they have an app they have an app to to control the you can change the color of the lamp. It's supposed to be fucking pretty cool, but I don't know because I don't have a plug that works. But dude, I've never been so. I don't think I've ever been so disappointed in a purchase since that leather jacket.
Yeah, no,
I think this might be the worst. I think it looks really cool, and hopefully it works. And I'm gonna get it for I want to use it for my art, like my art area. But I mean, dude, here's the app. I'm downloading it right now. What the fuck is wrong with you people, man? And so anybody out there who knows anybody from Lampster, please share my story with them, because it's fucking inconsiderate, and I almost want, like, the neck is really cheap too. It looks like the plastic is so inferior, like such a cheap plastic, that the housing for the neck goes in to move around. They add like a metal collar to like distribute the weight and everything. And so it doesn't look like it's supposed to. It looks like it's got this shitty ass fucking collar. So I almost want to just take that out and reprime that myself and repaint it. But it's fucking garbage, man. So I guess, I don't even know. Looking for Lampster. Don't own a Lampster? Touch here to start shopping. Let's see how long it takes. Go to Lampster.com. See how long it takes to order one. Are they in back order right now? It's not in stock. Oh, pre-order it here. Let's see how long it takes to pre-order there. I know what you're getting for Christmas.
Please don't.
2030. So, I mean, like, there's a little bullshit. I mean, it looks fucking tight, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I wouldn't spend $200 on it.
And the funny, $240 now. You know, the fucking fucked up bit about it, though, is that there's another company that came out with a very similar design for a lamp, except, like, it was like the head was a lamp shape, you know, like the single lens thing, but had a backpack, and the backpack had rocket blast coming out, and it sat on top of that, and so that was like how it articulated, and like I tagged them in it, like, hey, Lampster, you might want to talk to these guys. They're fucking biting off your shit, like your design, and now I wish I bought that fucking lamp.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I want to see how long it takes to get in. No letters. You want a black one? You want the army?
Can you do anything? Can you contact Kickstarter? Can you?
I guess you can contact Kickstarter.
I would be relentless, dude. I wouldn't let off. I'd be like a pit bull on this fucking company. $200 for a lamp.
Yeah,
that's trash.
Yep. Well, I don't know if it's trash yet because I can't plug it in.
No, you do know it's trash.
Proceed to checkout. Let me see. Do I have a coupon? See, there's no information on how long this is going to take either. It's just fucking garbage. So.
All right, let's wrap it up. Shout out to the rest of the folks here at Nerd Rage. We got Black Phillip. We got Raul on Instagram. We got Joe KW, who was supposed to be here today, but he ended up having something pop up. And we have Dante doing lots of work on our Facebook. We have Marilyn Phil on our Twitter. We have Manny doing some computer stuff, some video stuff for us. Real quick, shout out to anybody that wants to write us a question. Our email is in the description. It's nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com. Shout out to the Cool Table Network, Shadowcast Uncut, Enter the Realm, Beer and Bolters 40K, Plastic Fanatics, Stasis Lock, Toy Detox, Building Up to It, Breaking the Mold, and Fresh Communications.
So I got my intro for the video I'm going to do for you.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell it to you.
Yeah, let me be a surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It'll be good.
I don't have any doubt.
Yeah. And with that, thank you, folks, and great lamps.
Tight plugs player. All right. And our plan is to cut this in to the back of the show, so we'll see how that went. And hopefully Adam is going to forgive me for allowing Philip to have a microphone.
What's up, Adam? I got a mic.
So I've drawn on here, Philip, and some people are visual.
You've drawn sweet spots on here.
Yes.
I like a good sweet spot. I like when they tell me right where it is.
Black Phillip, I have a feeling that you don't know about the things that you're talking about necessarily.
Not all the time.
But I am here joined by Black Phillip and Marilyn Phil.
What's up, folks?
So here is the most interesting thing to me about the movie. I'm sitting there with Jaina to my left and Marilyn Phil to my right, and the movie's about to start. And here comes this bandanaed, long-haired, scruffy-looking nerf herder into the theater, looking clueless. So I raised my hand, and I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, he just wasn't what I expected. You were the last thing I expected to see walk in. But I guess with you, you really just never know.
I'm full of surprises.
Of course.
I had no idea he was going to be there.
No, me neither. Did you tell me you were going to be there?
Yeah.
Okay. My memory.
It was in the one-on-one message. I didn't say anything in the group chat.
Gotcha. So let's talk about it. So we're going to just, for those listening, we're going to just do spoilers because there's not enough to unpack for both. So if you're not interested in spoilers, back out. If you are interested in wait. If you're deciding on whether or not you're into spoilers,
Listen for a couple minutes and then back
I,
out.
d- I don't. I don't think there's anything that happens in this movie
That is unpredicted
that's
at all.
unpredicted.
There's
So-
one thing I thought was curious. I was like, okay, but they didn't touch on it too much because that would be a whole nother movie. And we
So-
can discuss it. But so this is for Jurassic World.
This
Fallen
is for
Kingdom.
Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. Who Greg from Mercy texted me and said, "Nah, I'm gonna watch that from my bed. Fuck a Fallen Kingdom." So anyway, I don't know where to start. So let's just try to go through the movie. It opens with them. What is what they're trying to get that
They're
bone?
trying to get a specimen from the Indominus skeleton that's in the pond, the closed off pond the mosasaur lived in.
Okay.
Because when it died at the end of the last one, that's where mosasaur dragged it into the pond.
Gotcha. That's right.
So they're looking
That's
for remains to
right.
get the genetic material from.
And I had to be honest. This movie, it's not great.
What would you give it out of 10?
Do you want to do that first?
Yeah, that's tradition, right?
Okay, so I think I'd give it a 6,
Yeah.
and that's within genre. If I'm talking about, Schindler's List is a 10, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
We're probably in the 3 to 4 pocket somewhere.
Ouch. Yeah.
But within genre of just a sci-fi movie with monsters, I will say this movie felt more like a monster
Yes,
movie to
exactly.
me.
I was going to say
than
this
a dinosaur
at
movie.
this point, this is no longer a dinosaur movie for me.
Agreed.
It is a monster movie, and that's fine.
Mhm.
I appreciate these films at this point because they keep dinosaurs popular in the public eye, which is good both
And
from
you're
a fan
huge
perspective.
dinosaur fan.
Yeah. Where Star Wars is your number one thing, dinosaurs and prehistory is my number one
Yeah.
thing. So
It's an interesting number one thing.
I've been fascinated by it since.
Well,
I was
was
little
too.
kid.
I was too.
Most people fall out of it,
I was-
but I never did.
And I never fell all the way out of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like, I still think they're fucking
Like
cool.
I've fallen out time to time here and there, but I always see another science article or another National Geographic article that pulls me back in.
See,
So
I would say before I met you that I was the most knowledgeable dinosaur person that I had met. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Okay. Yeah.
not shaking hands with archaeologists at the
Mhm.
Smithsonian or whatever, but like in person, most people know like your main cast
yeah,
of
yeah,
characters.
you mean like top 12 to 20 dinosaurs. that you
Yeah,
know.
I wouldn't even say 12 to 20, to
Yeah.
be honest.
yeah. Most people would know like 6. Maybe.
Yeah. You're-
Especially since Jurassic Park.
and then
is-
Jurassic Park, people know Velociraptor, but nobody knew anything about the raptors prior
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Jurassic Park. But you have texted me privately and been like, what do you know about Pachycephalosaurus or this and that? And,
Well,
and
when
then-
you mentioned it on SCU, I thought it was funny because it's funny for anybody besides me to know what that is or being able to pronounce it.
And I think for me, like I had these 2 videotapes that my dad had recorded off of TV on like dinosaur specials that would be run on the National Geographic
Yeah.
channel or whatever. One of them that was my favorite had like, because most of the time it's just people talking in front
Yeah,
of some
yeah.
bones.
Yeah.
But which I found interesting. They did have this one British guy who I'll never forget was talking and was like, a lot of older pictures would have the T-Rex sort of standing on his hind legs with his tail more so as a third leg,
It's like an older version of Cody.
dragging around on the ground. But we don't have really any evidence of that. Our evidence all supports that it's sort of balanced on its hind legs, not unlike a teeter-totter.
It's very iconic.
I'd remember that if I was there.
So it was the reason why I remember this special. It was split into like 3 or 4 sections, and in between each section there was like a 3 to 5 minute claymation
Yeah. Okay.
like bit that they did, but they looked the shit.
Yeah. Claymation was the way to do it back then, and then
I miss
by
claymation.
mid '90s, when the BBC did the dinosaur series,
Walking
Walking with Dinosaurs, that because after Jurassic Park brought it back to the public light, they got enough money to pull something like that off.
Yeah, and there was a lot of production value. in
Yeah,
those.
and that was good production value. It was narrated, and they basically did all CG.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was cutting edge.
yeah.
And then they followed it up with a prequel that did prehistoric life before dinosaurs and a post that did prehistoric mammals after dinosaurs, which was both were great.
Yeah, like that was good stuff. So I watched stuff like that. I was into Dino Riders and all that kind of stuff.
I want them to bring back still. I got designs in mind.
So within Dino Riders, if you wanted to, there was a lot to learn.
Yeah.
You know, because they would give you tons of information about
and
all.
at the time, Dino Riders was the best that science could offer, and it was popular enough where the Smithsonian bought the rights off the toys just for their own museum shop.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. The Smithsonian bought the rights to do all the dinosaurs without the riders and without the guns for their own shop because they were the best. Tyco had made the best dinosaur toys anyone had ever seen.
Yeah.
And they were accurate for the time.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the detailings in the eyes and the paint applications with stripes and, you know, you didn't really... Before that, it was all like the standard single mold plastic, heavy...
They were all still based on the old Charles R. Knight 1920s paintings.
Yes. But they were awesome too.
Yeah, they were awesome too.
The maroon Tyrannosauruses and
they were all made. It was all single mold.
Yep.
No moving parts at all.
Yeah, that's interesting. We should do a whole discussion about dinosaur toys. Anyway, so when I talked to you and I was like, okay, he knows more than I do. It was interesting just because I don't feel like it's common to find someone that's heavy into dinosaurs.
No, not unless you walk into a museum.
Yeah, at an older age. Yeah. You know. So they get this bone, and I don't even know if I want to go through this whole movie.
There's multiple layers of tropes in this film.
Yes,
just for science fiction and for monster movies.
So they organize a team. There's a volcano that's erupting. And Black Phillip actually has a very interesting analogy for this film that I'm going to allow him to speak about totally here.
I'm going to make it happen
in a minute.
one day.
But there's a huge volcano that's erupting. It's going to threaten life on the entire island. And is that the original Jurassic Park island?
Isla Nublar is
right.
original island from Jurassic Park.
How do you feel about the island being wiped out? I feel a way about that.
Jeff Goldblum is always right. It was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
My bigger question, which I'm fine with because volcanic activity happens, but the fact that they couldn't predict it and all of a sudden it happens, that I have a problem with because Hammond was a millionaire and he wasn't completely stupid. Why would he build on an active volcanic island? Doesn't make any sense in the beginning.
Yeah.
But my bigger question for this is, there's been in this series, both in the books and now, there's 2 islands with dinosaurs on them. They have never addressed Isla Sorna after Jurassic Park 3.
Or Jurassic Park 3,
and
that's right.
Jurassic World, the first one, didn't reset everything. It just was a later version of it. It didn't say, oh, well, all the original films are nixed. We're starting over again.
Right.
It was adding to it.
That's true.
Where is the second film? Where is the second island that has not been addressed since Jurassic Park 3?
That's a good point.
And they're all for the whole premise of this movie is they have to save the dinosaurs, but you have a whole second island with dinosaurs. so what's going on? I imagine when we get to Jurassic World 5 and 6, we're gonna have to go back to the other island because we have nixed all our story ideas at this point.
That island was left alone, so there was no conflict. The dinosaurs are living in peace, having their tea parties and whatnot.
So
I was hoping for an addressment of that island in this movie because I assumed that's where they would bring them, but they went a whole different way, which I'm fine with. But they still didn't address the second island.
I don't ever expect movies to go that far anymore.
They're organizing a team to go to this island to, we think, save a couple species, but you can instantly tell that it's going to be disingenuous, their attempts.
Yeah.
This guy that was Hammond's partner, have we ever heard of him before?
No. He's a completely new kid. The older
and he had a cane
Lockwood,
as well.
Yeah.
So Lockwood, right?
Yeah.
That's what I call my wife.
And and he's played by an actor I really like.
Yeah. And he did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, Crawford, right?
Most of the cast was fine.
Yeah.
There wasn't any like.
I actually like what's his name from Silence of the Lambs.
Yes,
he was better.
Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs, and he was a better villain character than the last one in Jurassic World. He was less Disney-esque.
Yeah, I agree. So in order to do that, they round up the old crew from Jurassic World with a new kid that's like a scientist, but he's not an outdoorsy kind of guy. They established that early on. He's sort of a fish out of water. And they go to this island with good intentions, and they learn quickly that it's not what it seems, and they're just trying to capture these dinosaurs, and they're going to use them for military training and shit, which was fucking stupid.
I want to see that, though.
Dude,
They're going to make Dino Riders. That's going to be the...
Well, when they showed, let me tell you something. When they showed, they were like, here's the perfect military weapon, and they brought up the scan. I was like, if this motherfucker has guns on his head, I'm going all in on this movie. I'm 100% committing.
That would have been.
That is a Dino Riders movie that I've been waiting for forever.
Because I was like, they're gonna go full stupid, and like, if we're gonna go full stupid, if that's like, look, guys,
they could have done two things with that. They could have done that route, or they could have finally utilized the fact that the genetically modified animals have opposing thumbs, and they're going to have tool use and be able to carry weapons. Because that was the, I mean, that's the whole point of evolving a thumb.
Right, is for tools.
Is for tool use, and they didn't use it in the last one. They still didn't use it this time.
No.
So again, a wasted effort.
But I couldn't. As soon as the hologram, because it took a minute. Like I started with the tail.
Yeah, they did it slowly.
And I was like, it's gonna have fucking laser beams.
I love B.D. Wong as the Dr. Jekyll character who's a scientist and an artist. I love him coming back, and the fact that he's a forefront in the movies. Again.
I'm okay with that as well. And they try to kill off the team that helps them get the dinosaurs, but they're unsuccessful. They do a blood transfusion from a T-Rex into the Raptor Blue to save Raptor Blue's life.
Which would never work, but I have to give them credit for actually picking the dinosaur most closely related to one another in all the dinosaurs they had. So,
is that the two most closely related?
Yeah. Rex is not very close to a raptor, but it's closer than anything else they have there. So
okay, that's fair. Okay, I misunderstood what you were saying. You're not saying they're not the two most closely related dinosaurs on the boat. You're saying
they're the
closest related to a velociraptor on the boat. Okay.
I kind of saw that whole thing as Charlie Sheen with his tiger blood kind of thing going on. That's what I was seeing.
And that was a cool sequence, like trying to get the blood and the animals asleep, and the fucking guy comes by and closes the door and locks. Like
and he has to jump through the open mouth.
Yeah.
It's a good gimmick.
It's good Hollywood stuff.
That'll play into what I'm going to say later.
Yes, it will. I feel it might have the key to this movie. And I'm going to let him unlock it, but I'm going to make you guys wait.
Damn right.
So,
Can I see one of those?
And then they,
my design? I want to see that.
We're thinking about getting like business card information on one side, and then handing them out at Baltimore Comic Con as like a bookmark for your comics. But
I'll take a bunch with me to New York.
There you go. Yeah. So anyway, what else did they do? They come back. You learn that the bad guy is really bad. That the daughter is a clone of Lockwood's daughter.
Originally, it said his granddaughter.
His granddaughter is a clone of his daughter because he lost his daughter,
which is why Hammond left him.
And I liked all that.
Yeah,
I dug all that.
That was the direction where I said, okay, that's the only twist that I kind of predicted, but wasn't sure if they were going to go all the way with. But they only touched on it, and they could do a whole another movie about that.
Doesn't that essentially validate like the entire existence of the original? I guess because the whole idea was cloning experiments, really.
Yeah, and it also gives credence to how much passion would have been behind it, because this one guy would have been really pushing to get his daughter remade.
Yeah,
and I knew she was a clone of her almost instantly.
Yeah, what I didn't know if they were going to go full bore with is she going to have any hybridization in her?
Oh, some dinosaur in her.
That's what I was like. Are they going to go full bore with it, or are they not? Because that's another step I could easily see them taking.
So when we were talking about the fan films that we made, like the short little run of fan films,
I want to see that.
Dino Man was our
dude. I need to see that. You still have it.
Adam says he has it.
Oh, dude, because
But it was just a guy like.
Dude, we can have a whole discussion about that because there's a couple of the references I can throw at you that are interesting.
There's just a guy like eating like a dinosaur and like
yeah, exactly, dude.
And we had like we took like the Jurassic Park T-Rex and like set the legs like right here where the camera is, and then like we're like running, you know. And
It's all perspective shots.
It's pretty funny.
Awesome,
it's
dude.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then we did one where this ship crashed, and this guy is like narrating, and he's like, ever since I found him as a child, I've been raising him as my own. It was quickly that I realized he was strong with the Force and all this, and like they raised him to be like this Jedi, and he's like standing on the bridge, and this Sith Lord like comes up to the bridge and like runs up with a lightsaber, like ignites the lightsaber and like runs up, and like we digitally animated the lightsaber blade and everything, so he like runs up with the lightsaber like ready to do work, and the Jedi like hides, like clings the lightsaber onto his belt and opens up his shirt, and it's a Superman symbol underneath. It was called Star Wars, like episode 38, and it was called I think it was called Star Wars episode 38, The Last Son of Krypton. Anyway, back on subject. So then they're auctioning off these dinosaurs that they've captured to millionaires to try to make money, even though they seem to have more than enough money. The guy lives in a fucking castle that I'm pretty sure was the same castle used for Wayne Manor in the Nolan
that's
films.
what I was going to say. I love the fact
it?
of how goth
sure.
they made this whole thing, and the house looked very familiar.
But all the digital shit that they added on top of it, like how tall it went, like I was like, dude, where's Dumbledore at? You know what I mean?
Swish and flick.
The fetus deletus. So that was they're auctioning it off. They rescue the dinosaurs. The bad guys get eaten by dinosaurs. There's a fight between this new hybrid dinosaur they've made that should have had laser guns on them and the raptor, and then even the T-Rex gets a heroic moment at the end, and that's pretty much it. What new dinosaurs did we get to see? We saw an Allosaurus, which used to be my favorite kid. I like the red over the eyes.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. We saw
Carnotaurus.
Carnotaurus.
The bull.
Yep. We saw a Spinosaurus without a spine. What's that
There's
called?
Baryonyx.
Baryonyx. Bariatric. Like, is it a great big fat dinosaur?
I love how they made him push himself into this little tunnel to get morsels of meat as like fleeing humans as like this place is melting down around him.
That was a cool sequence as well.
That was a cool sequence that made no sense. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it made sense from the larger shot, but it was just like no lava came in through that top hatch. I fully expected it.
Yeah.
It was just
Yeah,
like,
if they would have
that's
just left
too-
the hatch open and let the lava like pour in. But I
And,
mean,
like-
that would have been murdering.
Yeah.
You know, like
The
that wasn't
dinosaur,
really
because
their
she wanted to
intention.
save it, yeah.
Yeah.
And then what else? Have we seen the Ankylosaurus before? That was in the third episode.
That was
Thor.
yeah, they did.
Oh God.
So it's curious.
Oh, God.
Do you say Ankylosaurus?
You
Yeah.
didn't.
Okay, because that's the way he pronounced it in the movie. I was like, I've only ever heard Ankylosaurus.
I always thought
I've
it was
always said
kilo.
Ankylosaurus.
And like a kilo of coke.
And was there any other new ones?
I think that was basically it.
Okay.
And I was thinking the Allosaurus and the
and then we saw the fucking fake one.
the Indoraptor. Yeah.
And Indo-rapper. It's like a rapper smokes a lot of marijuana. Smoking Indo.
And basically, it's the same thing as again.
I
where
don't think any
they
of-
didn't have to create a new animal if they didn't want to. They could. Oh, they showed the Stygimoloch, which is the Pachycephalosaurus.
I was
with
about
that.
Right,
to say.
right.
I didn't even think the past movies gave Packy that much attention. to
No,
begin
they
with.
did to this one. That was good.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite sequences as well. And he was a cool little element to add to it. And like seeing like all the people like fly up in the air.
Yeah,
want
exactly. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was good.
I would let it free roam in my house. I want one.
Yeah. I mean, and he seemed like he
Definitely
was,
wreck your place.
yeah, but
I don't know, if you train it as a baby,
yeah, you
you
gotta
can do it. You can do it to
I also like
velociraptors.
the
That's been
fact that they
proven.
showed video clips of Owen training Blue since birth. I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool, and I liked their relationship. I was gonna say this movie made me care about some things. I had to say two things. One, the guy that was hanging on to the helicopter, like I didn't want him to die for whatever reason. Like I wanted him to make it. Like I was like, come on,
I knew it was going to happen. I was like, come on, is he going to make it?
He celebrated too early. He had it coming.
Yeah, and then the relationship between Star-Lord and the Velociraptor was still good. Still works.
It's very Disney.
It seemed like there should have been a moment where he would have had to really earn back the care and respect from
true.
Blue.
I think they had too much ground to cover in
Yeah.
a short amount of time, so they couldn't fit that in.
It was very long, this movie. It felt long.
It felt long.
It was 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But I don't think they earned it. Like Lord of the Rings kind of earns that.
Oh, yeah, for
but
sure.
this is not
Lord of
an
the
epic
Rings.
movie.
Nothing really happened.
I'll also say that this is the most different sequel I think we've had.
Yes, definitely.
It's a very
and this seems like
But it's
just a
also-
bridge to a third movie.
yes, but it's also the furthest from sort of the world we've known.
That's because it's not actually Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's like a huge departure. It's like Jurassic Basement. This movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, at first it was Jurassic Boat, and then it was Jurassic Basement. The Brachiosaurus that like was burning up on the fucking.
That was like
that
the
was
most
fucking
that was one of the
heartfelt.
two
Yeah, I felt
heartfelt
that.
moments in the movie. Like,
Yeah.
like I knew going in that there was going to be one heartfelt moment that I didn't know what it was going to be. As soon as that came up, I was like, oh man, that's
rough.
That's a rough, man, because that's the first dinosaur you ever see in the Jurassic Park movie,
Yeah.
the original, and it's the first one they see again in this movie. Like
Yep.
this movie tried to copy as much off the original as it could with various scenes.
Well, I don't think it was as much a copy as it. I don't think it was like a episode 7, episode 4 sort of copy. I think it was more of homage. Like
Yeah, at least in the first act, they tried to do homage,
Yeah,
and then they started switching things up.
yeah, they're really switching things up.
Yeah, and when they had that thing die on the dock as the boat's leaving, it's one of the animals they couldn't save.
It was
it's
good.
like, oh my god, dude!
It was good. At, like
If I was a kid, I would be definitely bawling at that point.
I feel like I feel like you could have trimmed off a lot of like the sequence with the ball in the water. Like I didn't need that.
Yeah.
Like just let him get out and get to safety because like I don't know like
The ball was stupid.
the ball is
It
stupid
was
but
just stupid.
but when you build this, you know, they're in the room and it's fucking with the dinosaur and they're in danger and then they get out and the volcano's coming and they're in danger and they're going to be trampled and now they got away and now you're just in a ball you got to get out of in the water. It's like,
I think the length of that was meant to distract the audience from the fact that how the fuck did Owen survive the jump? Because he was not in any structure at all. He just free dove.
I have a
that
theory
was
for
from
that.
like 1,000 feet up.
yeah.
So you either have to be a perfect human or beyond Olympic level to pull that off.
So let's do our spoilery good, bad, and ugly, and then I'm gonna let Philip make his analogy, which is awesome, and then we'll get out of here. So good. What do you have? What is your good? Let's run them off.
All right. My good is the fact that this keeps dinosaurs in the public perspective. So that's good for me, both as a fanboy and as a science person, because it keeps people going to the
science person?
museum. Well, I mean,
You're a science person.
I do scientific work for a living, but
Science person.
and
like
dinosaurs are what got me into science. and
Do you
art as a
identify
kid.
as a science person?
Sort of. I'm a big nerd, both.
They're like, what's up, person? Science person. I'm a person. My name is science person.
First name, last name.
Yeah, exactly.
All
so
right,
that's
continue.
basically
That's
basically-
always good. It's always nice to have dinosaurs.
and the other good is
The world is a better place when there's dinosaurs in the stores and on your chips and shit.
exactly
In the
because it
streets,
keeps
in
them
the
in the market,
skies.
and as long as they keep them in the public perspective, people will contribute
To research
and
and-
stuff,
yeah.
which keeps it going.
Yep.
Which is good.
It's an interesting point, Phil, and a very good point.
And the other perspective is how they wrapped this movie up and left it for the third film, because I'm much more interested in the story for the third film based on how this movie was left off than I am in the story that happened in this movie.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping the next one they don't have to do any genetic monster. They can just have dinosaurs and it will be interesting.
Yeah, and like I was happy that. Real quick, there's like the basement is flooding with hydrogen sulfide.
Yeah, no, it was hydrogen cyanide. That's another.
hydrogen
That was
cyanide.
one of my bad, because first of all, why do you need hydrogen cyanide in a gas? How is that helping you? Because if you're going to have a fail-safe to eliminate the dinosaurs, you could do a giant dose of trank gas.
Yeah.
You don't have to have one of the most toxic substances on Earth that will a small dose will kill a human, and a large dose would kill most of the life in the area.
It's one of those Hollywood things where
Yeah,
they
it's
don't
definitely
expect
they
us
they
to
went
know,
over the top
they're
so
gonna-
much with that. It's like,
Exactly.
this is the most over the top thing they did in the movie. Hydrogen cyanide.
Well, that and that woman driving a stick shift.
Oh,
Kidding.
No, but you and I looked at each other because as soon as she hopped in, and this is a truck that I wouldn't necessarily
Yeah.
be.
Yeah,
This is a
isn't
truck that
just
would require a
this isn't-
CDL,
yes,
a
this
CDL
isn't just
license.
This
Oh, I
isn't just a
fucking
stick
attempted.
shift. This is a fucking big.
And she just automatically drives as like, no, because
and then drives it off
I
of
would
a
have
dock.
to stop for like 10 minutes and figure out
All right,
just
the
how to
dock
shift in this
bullshit.
thing.
And not all, and there's another thing, like not all vehicles shift the same way.
Exactly.
Like it's not all set up the same.
No,
Where it's
no,
like odds up
exactly.
here, and it's like it's not the case.
I was like, I would be lost, and you have seconds to figure this out before the lava hits or whatever.
But anyway, continue. Other good.
I'm glad they still threw new animals in there. I hope they continue to do that, even though I don't know how they're going to do that if they only allowed so many at the end.
Yeah.
I was disappointed not to see a raptor in a pack element again, which I guess they kind of had to do because she's supposed to be the last one left. And that's why blue is so important.
Yeah.
That was kind of the bad. The hydrogen cyanide thing was.
Well, let's play our bad. We'll do our good first.
Okay.
What about you, Black Phillip?
I had never seen dinosaurs as evil creatures, and even in Jurassic World, when that Indominus Rex is just like a monster, but that Indoraptor
Was definitely a
looked
villain.
Yeah, it was definitely
evil, and I
evil.
loved it.
Yeah.
I loved how evil that thing. It looked
All it was missing was the brain box.
Yeah.
And the Rulons.
third movie.
I echo everything you said. I think the effects were great.
Yeah, the
Like-
effects were good.
Oh yeah.
Like the animals look terrific.
Yep.
All the explosion stuff, all that stuff.
They definitely used a good portion of the budget for that.
Yeah.
And
I think the cast did a great job.
Yeah.
the guys did well for what they were given.
Yeah, I think there was some interesting. I think that one of the challenges that Jurassic Park franchise faces is trying to create new circumstances and levels of threat that haven't already been previously done in
Yes.
others' movie. And I think they did do that with this.
Yeah,
Like,
they made it basically a monster movie and it worked.
yep, and they did the volcano, and they put the guy in the box with the sleeping T Rex, and it's like this. I mean, it's literally like trying to get the treasure from the dragon. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's-
exactly.
But it's cool that they were able to do some new stuff.
I do recommend people see this in the theater if they're a fan of the other films, definitely.
We'll get there. Bad.
Bad.
There's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard sifting for me for between the bad and the ugly for this.
We can wrap it into one. We can
Okay,
wrap bad and ugly
so-
into one.
The cyanide thing was way over the top for me. The predictability was, I mean, you can predict
Yes.
this movie
Yeah. I mean,
almost from the get go.
you can almost know exactly what dinosaurs are gonna kill what humans.
the bad dude.
I hate fake dinosaurs.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. The fact that they did the
There's
Indoraptor, the fact that I mean, I knew going in that they weren't going to do modern dinosaurs.
There's
in the
no
sense
need
of-
for it.
Yeah, there is absolutely no need for it because
Oh, like
both.
feathered raptors and stuff.
Yeah, the Indoraptor and the Indominus Rex in both films of the Jurassic World are completely unnecessary, especially since the attributes they give them are not used to what they should be used for.
I always looked
logically.
at it this way. At least it's just one per movie. And it's not like
Yeah,
an
that's true.
army of
That's
them. You know.
And one thing I wanted to say about the hydrogen cyanide before we get too past it is I liked that she couldn't push the button to release them.
Oh yeah. That
Because
was cool because I was like, all
That
right,
really is her passion versus her science having to come into mind to make the right decision, which was to let them die.
yeah. And then
And
the
then
kid.
the kid lets them loose, which is also a smart play.
Yes, I thought that
And-
was well done. That's another good thing.
And then it raises a bigger question about life and the value of life and what defines life. And,
yeah,
you know,
because her
like, which
quote
is-
was like, because they're basically like her.
yeah, they were like
Or they're clones and I'm a clone.
Yeah, she was like
so
they're alive,
they're alive,
like me.
like me. So if they have to die, that means
Yeah,
I
that's
have
strong.
to die. So
That's
it's-
strong.
That was probably the strongest story point they
Yeah,
had.
that 100%.
That and the
Yeah.
brachiosaur dying on the
Yeah.
were the most poignant moments in the film. I was
Yeah.
like, okay,
The brachiosaur could have survived in the water. It's got its nose.
yeah.
up there.
I was like, the brachiosaur probably could swim and make it, maybe.
Yeah, it depends on how deep it was.
yeah.
What about you, bad and ugly?
The bad, and the ugly. Well, again, Indoraptor was ugly as fuck, but I loved that. And that commando dude is just nasty, stealing all the teeth and shit with all the poaching. That was pretty fucked up. I'd go under ugly. As for bad,
Oh, I
Just-
actually
just-
like-
just because-
I actually like that because he was a good villain.
But I think,
oh, it was
yeah,
great, but it was ugly.
Yeah, he's just I think we need to redefine what these words mean.
For me, absolutely.
What is bad about the film, or ugly in the sense of it was stupid, it didn't work, it like the I'm trying to think of bad visual effects because it's been so long. I feel like since we've seen bad visual effects, but some of the visual effects of Black Panther versus Killmonger would be an ugly.
How the hell did that truck jump off the dock?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was ugly. That was probably the ugliest effect they had.
Yeah, that was dumb.
I put that under bad. That was bad.
That was very dumb.
It was how the hell. So that was an issue. The fucking the whole volcano thing, and then like the rich people thing. That could have been split up into 2 movies, or something could have been. I don't know.
There's an awful lot of plot threads that if you don't have to pull too hard,
and the movie starts coming.
It starts coming apart.
The volcano just became nothing as soon as. I mean, of course, it makes sense. It becomes nothing as soon as they leave the island. But even when they're on the island, it just seemed like it wasn't a present threat.
I mean,
the only time I felt the threat was when he's rolling away from it.
Yeah. The whole thing, and also the volcano didn't seem big enough to really destroy the entire island to me. And there's like mad mountains.
Yeah, and on top of it, it's a huge threat. As they're diving off the cliff, then they get washed up on the beach, and all of a sudden the volcano is not a problem anymore.
That part's fine.
They get to the encampment where they're going to sneak aboard the boat, and they see and that part's fine too. It hasn't been.
Yeah, it's just it hasn't.
So why did all the dinosaurs fly off the cliff?
Just that way. They were just the dinosaurs in that route of travel.
I guess.
This might be bad. When they had all the.
I want to chime in on one of the plot threads. Like the main villain comes from redonkulous wealth.
Yeah,
was raised by people that really value life to a point where they make poor decisions, perhaps ethically, based on their value of life.
Mm-hmm.
And he just wants to sell dinosaurs for money.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? Like, even if money was your main thing, which I don't feel like, I feel like people that are born into obscene amounts of wealth, if money is their main thing, they have like some shit with it. Like, I hate my father. I hate or whatever he was to him. I hate everything he stood for. I'm going to fucking do all this to prove I'm better than him or whatever. But there's none of that. He's just doing it for more money to like throw on top of his piles of money. Exactly. It's like he wants to donate one room of his castle to just money made from dinosaurs. Like I'm like, I don't buy.
You mean like coins made from dinosaur bones?
I'm like, I don't buy this. I don't conceptually buy this.
Yeah, he was probably the weakest character in the movie.
Yeah,
not the old man that.
His acting is fine. Yeah, it's just the actual pen to paper of the character is weak. You know what I mean?
Because he had no interest in the science, even though he could have.
Yeah,
he knew enough about it, but.
He could have gone into cloning to make money off of it. He could have gone into setting up a new island if he wanted to make money off of it. He could have opened up with all the wealth he has. He could have opened up his own goddamn theme park in America with all the money. But yeah,
he could open a second theme park on the second island that still isn't addressed.
Yes, you could. But instead, he just decided to sell it to other rich people for God knows what.
For military weapons.
And all these people like just going down the road in semi trucks with dinosaurs in the back. It's just like, what is this?
You'd see that on the highway.
So out of 10, what do you give it, Black Phillip?
What do I give it 120 stars out of 10.
That's a good score.
Stay tuned and find out.
You are. Oh, that's okay. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Apparently, he's got an inside track.
Yeah. And what do you give it out of 10?
I gave it, like you, I probably gave it a 6 as a monster movie film because it was too predictable to do anything better than that.
But I enjoy watching it.
Yeah, it was like the last one. It was entertaining. I find this to now be weaker.
Is it in the fun? It's definitely weaker than the last one.
Yeah.
But is this a fun romp? Is this going in the fun romp category?
It's a fun romp. So I was gonna say if you like the other movies, see it in the theater. Yeah. If you don't care about the other movies, definitely wait.
Yeah, I feel like the first act of this movie is where you get your bang for your buck going to see it in the theater, and then the second and third act is like Netflix all day long.
Oh yeah, it's just like dinosaurs in the Batman house.
yeah. It's basically
it's Bruce Wayne's basement with dinosaurs. Basically,
there's also another comparison you can make about it, and we're gonna let Black Phillip make the comparison right now, and then we're gonna get out of here.
All right. So before I get into it, I do want to point out that I think. Maybe instead of a third movie, it could work out if they did a Monster of the Week TV series of them capturing the dinos.
They could do a Jurassic Park TV series.
Dude, they could do that. I'm sure they could do that for like a YouTube series. They could do a 5-minute clip of trying to wrangle every dinosaur one every week.
Or YouTube is our frontier. They can have Netflix.
Or they could do a Netflix or a Amazon or whatever, like a hour show about the dinosaurs on that last island or whatever. Like it doesn't.
Just trying to capture one animal per week.
Yeah, I don't know if Jurassic Park needs to exist in film format anymore.
You could call them Jurassic Left Behind and Jurassic Metropolis,
Jurassic Forgotten,
Jurassic The Office,
Jurassic World,
Jurassic
The Fallen,
Park Boys,
The Forgotten Kingdom. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so about 20 minutes into this movie, my brain starts going crazy, making all these outside connections. This movie would have been flawless if it was a Mario Brothers movie. You got Chris Pratt. He's already got that mustache the whole movie. So I'm seeing Mario the whole time I'm looking at him. You got that red-haired. I don't remember any of their fucking names. You got that red-haired chick. She's the princess.
Yeah.
You got the two younger people at her business.
I am now thinking the movie with the Mario music in the background
as
they're running away from the lava. Dude.
On an island.
Those two people, those two younger people. You have Luigi and Toad, and they're interchangeable. He fucking just went. He just fucking went wahoo and jumped right through the fucking dinosaur, the T-Rex mouth. You got Luigi and Toad. They're the two fucking hyper ass kids. You got the old man as Bowser. You got the little girl as Bowser Jr. You've got the commando dude who loses his arm. He's Mauser, and then just all the other guys, just various villains and shit from the series.
Your depth of knowledge of Mario.
It kind of works.
It totally works.
It's a good analogy.
And blue is the Yoshi.
Blue is Yoshi.
Dude, this is way
Yoshi
better than the
saves
Super
the
Mario
day.
movie in the 90s.
I would have loved.
Jurassic Mario World.
Let's just.
That's the next movie.
Black Phillip, your mind is a cavern of wonders.
Oh, I love this place. It's fun.
All right, and with that, we're gonna get on out of here, and I'm gonna start drinking because it's Sunday and it's past noon. So, hope the show was good. Joe should have been on, I think. So
he would have overtalked everybody.
Yeah, that's Joe's
especially me, Joe.
Joe Joe's always getting trampled on a regular show. But he did make it back safely. As you guys know by now. Why am I rambling on? All right, see you later.
Jurassic World, Mushroom Kingdom.
Phil, get off the mic.